What's good, podcast? I'm your host, CJ King, at CJ_is_King on Instagram and Twitter, and you're live with the CJ Brand Experience. On today's episode, episode 11 of the Black Voice Man, I am joined by the one and the only Miss Southern Dog Smith.
What's going on, everybody?
Man, so, you ready for this interview?
Yes, I'm excited to be here. Let's go,
Yeah?
let's go.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Where can they find you on Instagram and Twitter and all that? I know you follow, like, a lot of people already follow you, but for the new people.
Okay, so for the new people, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at darb_Alexis. That's DARB_ALEXIS.
Okay, alright. So before we get into this interview, because we're finna talk.
Okay.
Alright, I gotta ask all y'all listeners out there, man, to give me a like for the video, man. Just give me a thumbs up. You know, smash it, break it, do all that. You know, like and share, all that for me, please.
Yeah.
Let's hit the goal.
Absolutely.
As well, if you like the video, I'll ask you, if you're new, please subscribe to the channel. Mm-hmm. You know that red button at the bottom on the left corner. I need you to click that for me.
Yes.
And after you click it, hit that bell notification icon.
Yes.
That way you are updated every time I drop a new video, right? Alright, so we'll get into it right after this. Okay, so Dark, origin story. Let's go.
Okay, so how far back do you want me to go?
As far back as you want to go. Like,
Okay.
Who are you?
Okay, I am. I'm a lot. Okay, so let's go back to like high school. So high school, I was like a really, really, really busybody. So I did a lot of activities. I did sports. So I was at one point captain of my dance team.
What high school did you go to?
North DeSoto High School. So I'm from the North Louisiana Shreveport area.
Okay.
A little town called
Sticks.
Stonewall. Yeah.
The Sticks.
A little town called Stonewall. I was born in California though.
What part of Cali?
The Bay. Was born in Oakland. My
Everybody knew they from the Bay. Like,
I am from the Bay.
man, I've never been to the West Coast. I need to go.
Oh, you definitely need to go. You definitely need to go. The Bay is my love. I love it. My mom is from Cali. Dad's from North Louisiana. So, I'm actually a triplet. So yeah.
Wait, that ass?
I'm a triplet.
What?
So
that's new.
Born in my parents both met at Southern. I'm a Southern student.
Okay.
And they went to Southern, both graduated, moved back to California, found jobs, cool. They had my older sister, so she was 3 when they had us. And then of course having triplets is expensive. They were like, we gotta move back to Louisiana where we can afford this. So they moved back, raised us.
How old would you when you
I was young.
Yeah.
Like baby young. But my mom would have us go back during the summers to like and stuff like that, and Christmases and stuff like that. So it was kind of a back and forth thing, but country bred, California born, but country bred. So I was trail rides, horses, all that stuff. So growing up as a triplet was kind of hard because you have to share everything from your birthday to a card.
So it's you're a triplet. You have like 2 other sisters.
Two other brothers.
I have 2 twin
brothers. They run track at McNeese State in Lake Charles. So that was really fun. The funny story is we were all supposed to go to Southern. We get to Southern and my brothers are like looking at track scholarships and schools that are good for their track program. Yeah. And one of my brothers, mind you, they're identical. Okay. So one of them was like, "Oh yeah, Dar, we're both gonna go to Southern. It's gonna be great." A week later, they were like, "Yeah, Dar, I gotta go with my bro." I was just like, "Wow!" But it wasn't too bad. My older sister was still there in her last years of school, so I was by myself. But which is how it usually was, since it was 2 boys, 2 girls. I trailed behind my older sister naturally. And so whenever I went from elementary to middle, my sister had already been there for 3 years. So it's like, "Oh yeah, come on in,
show you the
Kobe
ropes."
Jr. Yeah. So it was just like I was always my sister's shadow, which I embraced, and I appreciated it because she was always helpful. But once my sister left, like once her final years of college were done and she graduated, I think that's when life really just kind of hit me. So I was like, I have to really figure this out by myself. Yeah. So it wasn't like, something went wrong, let me just ask my sister and everything will be fine. It was more so, Dara, you have to figure out your own way. You have to figure out how life works, how the world works. So it was a very eye-opening experience. But it builds character.
Yeah,
it built a lot of character. Right, it built a lot of character. But yeah, back to like my whole high school to what I am now. Captain of my dance team. I was girls captain of my track team.
Okay.
I ran 4x4, 4x2, open 4.
Oh, so you got speed too.
Oh no, I wouldn't say all that now. I had heart. I don't know about speed. Well, I was okay, but yeah, I love track. I love the challenge of it. It kind of built, you know, a lot of stamina just for life. Not necessarily, you know, physical stamina, but I just always kept pushing, you know, because I kind of relate everything to a open 400. Okay. So the first 100, come out the blocks fast, you know, powerful. You get around that first curve, you're straight. By the time you get to that back stretch on that 3, it's kind of like, it's getting kind of tough. You know, everything's tightening up, but you're like, if I quit, I'm not going to make it. So that last leg is always, I can always relate to it. So it's just like when things just seem like they're just getting the worst they can possibly get, you're like 50 from the finish. So you just got to make it and tough it out through those last 50. And that's kind of just how, that's just how I go about things.
Okay, because I ran track when I was in middle school. I didn't run it in high school, even though the track coach wanted me. Like he hounded me for it.
Oh,
But
I think that's how all track coaches are.
But me and him didn't get along.
Oh,
so
no.
I'm not rocking with you on this. Like, you know, like no, wait, this ain't for that happen. Like I don't like you, so I'm gonna go this way because if I get I'm gonna cussing you out.
No.
I'm gonna throw hands on you. No. You know what I'm saying? So like,
no.
Maybe not. You know, so.
But I mean, yeah, track is just, it's like that. So even when it came down to, you just ran the open 4, now you've got to run the 4x4 because you know it's the last race of the meet. So it's just like you already burnt out. You know, everything's tight. You may need to throw up. You know, so it's just like,
you better hope you don't.
You know, and of course my coach put me either first leg or anchor. 9 times out of 10 it was anchor.
So that means you got you
had to push it out, like, you know. So but I just kind of relate everything that happens in my life to that. It's just like that was such a pivotal part of me growing up that, you know, it's easy for me to relate to everything. So fast forward, sister left me. Well, I keep saying she left me. That sounds so sad. She graduated, went on to do great things. She is absolutely like my 110% role model. Like she just handles life with such, I don't even know how to explain it, but she just handles life so well to where I have to look up to her. Like there's no other, you know, I couldn't have picked a better role model. Right. You know.
Who else do you look up to other than your sister?
My mom, for one, because I mean, come on, she had triplets.
Right. Oh. Yeah.
You know, and so I grew up. My parents.
Mad respect for the female out there, because
my parents.
Us guys couldn't do that.
Yeah, my parents got divorced when I was in like 3rd, 4th grade.
Okay.
So watching her raise us and like just taking, I always look back and I'm like, wow, my mom did a really great job raising us. Like we're decent people. Because my mom always told us, you know, raise your kids to where you like them. You are always going to have to love them, but raise them to where you like them. And I think she raised decent people. Like we can all sit down, like Christmas, anytime we can get back together, always a great time. Like always. So, and it's just because we're genuinely awesome people. And I don't want to say that to be like, we're the shit. But
hey, no. Like, if you can't brag on yourself and hype yourself up, no one will.
But I mean, like, you know? I really enjoy my siblings. Like, I enjoy.
That's what it's about, though. You know, that's what it's about.
Their accomplishments, like, they're just awesome people. So, just I really have to give kudos to my mom. Like, she just really raised some awesome human beings. Like, you know, and I think that's the greatest gift she could have ever, you know, given us, was just to raise us to know how to navigate the world, navigate people, situations, relationships, stuff like that. So, so yeah, definitely my mom, and I call her for everything. I was just laughing with her on the phone the other day. You know, because my mom, I always expect her to answer the phone, and she always happened to have a job to where she was flexible like that. So of course I'm gonna call my mom. So I was talking to her the other day, and she said, "Yeah, you know, your sister called me and I didn't answer, and I called her back and I told her I was handling some things, and she said, well, Mom, what do you mean? Like, you were handling things? Like, you're supposed to always be available." So She's hilarious, but I call my mom for literally everything. There's nothing she can't fix.
Okay.
You know, so love her to death. So she better not go anywhere.
All right, so we're gonna ask this question that I know everybody wants to know.
Okay.
All right. How did you become Miss Southern?
Whew. That's such a complex question. So simple, but so complex. So I'll say it has to start after my sister graduated. So after my sister graduated, I was just kind of navigating myself around campus. I only knew like a handful of movers and shakers. So one is definitely my mentor, Garrett Edgerson. So he does all things Human Jukebox Media. He has his own thing, the Edge One Productions. And so before Human Jukebox Media became a thing, I came under him as a photographer for the Edge One Productions. Okay. And we just did on campus just events. We would cover events. Pretty Wednesday. We would cover pageants. You know, campaign season, anything big, student oriented that happened on campus. We covered it. Okay. So yeah, I came in under him. I really didn't know what I was doing, to be honest. My dad, I always wanted to do yearbooks. So of all the things I got to do in high school, I didn't get to do yearbooks. So my dad sent me back to campus after my first semester as a freshman. He sent me back with a camera, and I had only had the camera maybe 2 days. And then we came back, we had a pageant. So I go to the pageant, and I have no idea what I'm doing with this camera.
Pointing and shooting.
It's awful. Like, I'm just trying to figure it out, you know, see what if I really want to do it. So he just kind of was watching me the whole time, and he was like, he told one of the people that were on the team, he said, tap her and tell her to come here. So I come to him like, you know, what's going on? I don't know, you know, I've met him, but I haven't really met him, and I'm a fan, so I'm just like, so freaking out. So he says, you know, do you want to join the team? Absolutely. And it was just full speed ahead from there. Like, he just took me under his wing, showed me the ropes, you know, I always joke and say he let me crash and burn a little bit. Like it all.
That's how you learn,
right? It built character, so that way I was able to actually learn and hold on to the information I was learning as a photographer. So the longer I shot with him all the way up until I became his senior. So I became a senior before I became Miss Southern. Okay. So that was my junior year. So for about 2-3 years. So I developed my own thing. I became a photographer in the city. So you could find me at Vice. There used to be a club called Vice off college. I was in that club on Friday nights. And then Saturday nights I would go shoot at what used to be XO, which is now the District. And I would shoot there, and then they be
changing these club names a lot. That's why I know, like, they change Baton Rouge club names a lot. Yeah, I don't know why, but
like, I was keeping up. I was keeping up because I had to make the money.
As soon as you get used to one name, oh no, it's not that no more.
It's not that anymore. Because when I was there, it used to be called the theater or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I was doing that thing, and then I picked up another gig. And people were just finding me. They're like, hey, I saw you did good work, blah, blah, blah. You know, so I wasn't really involved on campus other than taking pictures. Okay. So I was really living like a really nice college life. Right. So I picked up another gig and did open mic night at Ruffin's downtown. Okay. So that was cool. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. Okay. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I was making money. Yeah. And all I had to do was take the pictures the way I liked them. You know, if you had something you needed me to put on them, or I would even take over their pages just to upload their content. Oh, and then nice. It was simple. All I did was edit the pictures. You still don't do that no more, though. No, Lord, can't do it. But I really enjoyed it. So I had my own thing, Darby Swift Photography. Okay. It was cute or whatever. So yeah, that was really cool. Transitioned from that, and I was like, you know, I'm really doing this whole self-business thing really good. I've got it down packed. Now I want to get more involved on campus because I feel like campus life is passing me by and I haven't been involved. Right. So I started looking into student government and the Royal Court. You know, we always have a queen, and she's beautiful, and she's lovely, and she waves, and all that was great. I was like, okay, so what do they really do? So my freshman year, I remembered my roommate. She was Miss Freshman on the Royal Court. And I was just kind of, you know, I was doing makeup then too, so I did her makeup for every, like, you know, event she had. And I was just like, okay, that's cool. And then it turned into, well, let me keep looking into it and keep looking into it. So my junior year, I decided I wanted to run for Miss Southern.
Okay.
But some stuff with the SGA happened. They changed the rules, so I was no longer eligible to run.
Okay.
So
what did they do?
Basically, it said they changed the rules, made an amendment to the Constitution that said in order to be top tier. So there's 4 top tier positions, which is student government president, Miss Southern, vice president, and chief justice.
Okay.
So, in order to be one of those positions or be elected as one of those positions, you had to have 1 year of prior experience before you can run for a top tier position, which made sense because, now that I'm in it, I understand why they made the change. Just so you don't get somebody in such a high position that has so much power that doesn't know.
And crack under pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what's going on or have experience on how student government works and the culture and all of that stuff. So it made sense. But to me, looking from the outside in, I was like, all these people have had a chance to do this. They've never been in student government before. They come in and now they're Miss Southern. Mm-hmm. So me, I was upset. I didn't understand. So I went and I talked to everybody I thought or knew or networked with to be able to figure out how can I get this changed, who do I talk to, who made the decision to do this. So I was really determined to get this done. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't change it.
Okay.
So I said, okay, that's fine. I won't change it. I'll accept it. So instead, I don't know what to do as a Miss Southern anyway. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to run for Miss Senior.
Okay.
Great. So I was a junior running for the next year.
Okay.
So I decided I wanted to be Miss Senior, and I had 2 years left. So this is my last year.
Yeah.
So ran for Miss Senior.
Landslide.
Landslide.
Ooh,
don't
you love those?
I was mind blown. I did everything. Well, I had a team of just my friends, and some people that believed in me, and I did all my graphics myself because I couldn't afford to pay anybody. My mentor took my pictures because, of course, he believed in me. So, and I just kind of made everything shake from there. I talked to some people from back home and like some old coaches and stuff, and they helped sponsor and helped get everything together. And even my roommate, shout out to Crystal.
Shout out to roommate.
She gave me some of her refund, and she was like, "I'm not doing anything."
What?
And she was like,
"That's love.
Take this.
That's love.
You need billboards. You need this. You need that. You need that." And I was just like, "Crystal, I can't accept it." She was like, "Do it."
That's love.
Like, okay, so she helped me a lot. Like, there's a lot of money and investing that goes into running for something like this. Mm-hmm. It's basically like running for a mini governor's position.
Right.
So, in HBCU culture, we just take that very seriously,
mm-hmm.
So, because we need somebody that's going to represent us, somebody that's going to play the role,
mm-hmm.
do the part,
yeah.
all that. So, as I was, doing my reign as Miss Senior, I was like, wow, I would really, really love to be Miss Southern. Mm-hmm. Now that I know what all it entails, what all my duties would be, responsibilities, the image I would have to uphold.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, cool. So it was probably like November-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Late October, so Bayou Classic time.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I need to start planning like now. Because elections are in March.
Okay. Filing
week is somewhere at the end of February, kind of in that little time frame. So you have to be prepared. Like, you have to be already halfway planned and paid for everything by the time election filing gets there.
Yeah.
So, and filing is just saying, I want to run for this position.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. So you're just kind of announcing it.
Yeah.
Well, not announcing it, but you're just, you're saying this is what I want to do.
Yeah,
so,
like with the Democrat,
right. You have to go ahead and say this is what I want to do. Blah.
Mm-hmm.
So I started planning.
Nomination,
right. So I started planning, and I was just like, let me get all my ducks in a row. I started talking to anybody that could help me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the people and connections I made from the time that I became a photographer on campus to Miss
mm-hmm.
Senior and now wanting to run for Miss Southern. I talked to everybody, every connection I could have possibly had, and everybody was on board.
Okay.
So that was just like one of those aha moments when you're like, wow, the city really messes with me.
Yeah.
So it was just like because I'm a really independent person. Like, if I can do it myself, I'm absolutely going to do it myself.
Right.
So just because it's not a trust thing, it's more so I got it.
Yeah.
No sweat. So I definitely started talking to everybody, and people really were behind me. Like, I think you can do it. I have faith in you. I think you can kill it. So, and then the culture too on Southern's campus was just like, we want something fresh. We want something new. And I was like, I think that's me.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me really do this. So, actually that same time I was planning for Miss Southern, I was invited to a lunch with Ricky Smily. So
that goes to the next time. I really was about to ask you, how did you get the Ricky Smiley shout out?
So this goes back, all the way back to like early November. So maybe 2 weeks before the Bayou Classic.
Okay.
Or this was like late October, early November.
Still in the campaign stages.
Right. Still in like planning. So I'm still having, holding my reign as Miss Senior. And somebody I used to work at the club with, they were like, hey, do you want to come to lunch with Ricky Smiley? I was like, oh, duh.
Like, that's a no-brainer.
What kind of question is that? So I went and changed clothes. I actually had a class. I skipped the class.
Hey, do what you gotta do.
I skipped the class. I'm not even gonna lie. I skipped the class. And I went and changed. I put on a suit, one of the suits that was provided. I get invited to this lunch. I go change clothes, put on a suit, and I drive to the restaurant. I get there. I walk in. I've never really been in this restaurant before. So I get in there. I walk in. I'm asking what all's going on. I walk in, and it's just like Ricky Smiley, a bunch of Q dogs.
Is Ricky a Q?
Yes.
He is, okay.
So a bunch of these people. I go in and I'm like starting to like break everything down. I was like, okay, 1, I'm the youngest in here. 2, these people have the money. So like I was sitting next to like a psychologist. Yeah, a psychologist and his assistant. Cause like, of course they go to really nice lunches like that. Like, what? So I'm just sitting there and they come by and they're like, oh, can I take your order? And I'm like, yeah. So everybody's ordering like these drinks and I'm like, well, hell, I'll have a Long Island too. So
loosen up.
Right. So I'm sitting here and I'm just like observing everything, and Ricky's talking. They're talking about football and I'm just like zoning out because I'm like, football, but I'm here because it's Ricky Smiley. So I'm just sitting there and they start talking, and then people are starting to leave. And I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to sit here because I really just want to talk to him.
Right.
So I'm sitting there, and then the guy that invited me, he came and peeked his head in, and I was like, hey. And so I just kind of kept my composure, ate and everything, So I get up to go to the restroom. I leave out, and I go to the bathroom, wash my hands, come back out, and Ricky's waiting for me at the door. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Did I do something wrong? Or like, he's like, do I know you from somewhere? And I was like, I really don't think you do. And I was like, in my head, I was like, is Ricky Smiley hitting on me? Is this what's happening right now? So I'm like feeling kind of like, oh no, don't do it. So he's just talking to me, and I'm like, I go ahead and introduce myself. I was like, no, my name is Darby Smith. I'm a senior business marketing major at Southern University. There's no way you could have possibly ever met me in your life. So he was just like, huh?
Until today.
Right, until today. So he was like, oh, okay. He was like, I was finna ask you to marry me. And I said, you were finna do what?
So, on the spot, just like that.
So I was like, no, I'm like, let's see how I was like 21. I'm 22 now. Yeah, I was like 21. So I was like, no. So he's just like, wow. So I just like kind of catch my composure. I check my phone. So I was like, oh, I'll be back in there in a second. So I go back in, and they have like powwowed trying to figure out who I am. So the way I dressed when I came in there, they assumed I either owned the restaurant or I worked in, the government, or I was like a mover and shaker in the city. And I was like, no, I'm just like your around the way photographer. Yeah. Like, I'm just a senior, nothing major. So they're like asking questions, they want to know what I do. They want to know how I got here, and what are my plans for the future. So the whole conversation just shifted. Went from football and all the rest of this stuff, and then it just got, I guess that just warmed it up for a more personal conversation. So Ricky talked about some other things that in his personal life, and some other people shared some things, and then I started networking with some of the people there. They were like, hey, I have an event coming up, you said you're a photographer. So it just instantly started popping off. So once we all decided to get up and leave, and he was like, we're not leaving until you get dessert. And I was like, Rick, I really can't take dessert. So he's like, no, you have to have this dessert. Order her some and put it right in front of her. So I sat there and he was just like, and you just...
What was it?
It was key lime pie.
Okay.
It was key lime pie. So
the best key lime pie.
It really was some good key lime pie. So I sat there and I talked to him. He was like, and you just so poised. And they were like all watching. I didn't realize. Maybe that's a guy thing. They were watching. Were you the only woman in the room? At this point, yes. So
that makes sense.
At this point, but they said they'd been watching since I got there because nobody knew who I was. So they said, we were just watching your mannerisms, like how you eat. You didn't like swallow the food, but you took your time to eat. And I was like, you guys are really like observing me. Mm-hmm. And so they said you wouldn't believe how many women come with us and we just like break them down. Like,
Wow.
Like, and that just blew my mind, put everything in perspective because I was like, all the things my mom taught me are true. I was just like, thank God I didn't stray away. But I
didn't even know it was like serious because I don't even do that.
Yes.
I don't do that.
Serious.
Like, I'm like, look, she hungry, man, eat.
No, like they were really watching. They were like, we were just trying to make sure, we noticed you got a drink, so we were trying to see if you were gonna be like, So they were really observing. So as we're sitting there and we're about to leave, who is this? Dougie Fresh's manager walks in.
Okay.
So I'm just like,
you meet all the celebrities.
A 2-for-1 special. So I'm freaking out. So she's in there. She exchanges cards with me. She's like, yeah, I do, women's etiquette, young women's etiquette and stuff like that. And she was like, you would be great, blah, blah, blah. So we exchanged cards. So I'm thinking like, okay, now I can go because Ricky's had his fun. Next. So we get to the bottom of the restaurant and he's like, he puts his arm around me. He was like, I just feel like I need to shed some wisdom with you. And he just drops all these gems about like believing in me and just like all this stuff about how, we need more young women representation and somebody to be a good role model for the youth and about all this stuff. So he's like, he insists that I follow him on Instagram. He insists that I send him a message on Instagram and all this stuff to keep in contact. So he was actually in town for a book signing.
Okay.
So he said later on today we're going to Barnes and Noble's for a book signing. I'm like, okay, cool. So I was like, I didn't know anything about the book. So I was just like, okay. So he was like, you should come. And I was like, come. Like, okay. So I called my mom. She's like, go!
That's Smily, man.
So I go, and it was just weird because all of the people that were in there, I just walk in, and they're like, oh, bring her to the front. And I'm like, oh, no, these people are waiting in line for you. Like, they were like, come to the front. So I get a book, and he signs the book, and him and all the people that I was eating with just start cracking jokes like they know me, and it's just like
now you became like a celebrity,
right? So I'm just like, what is going on? So that was the whole first interaction with him. So that was really, really cool. So speed through that, buy you classic passes, and January comes and we're back to February.
Okay.
So it's campaign time. You always have to keep your campaign, ideas and the fact that you're running in general. You have to kind of keep that on the low. Okay. Because it has to be like, there's a bunch of campaign rules, all that stuff. So I'm just planning it, keep it to myself, keeping it to maybe like the minimum of people that, on my team, to keep me, going. So I didn't tell Ricky.
Okay.
So, but he was checking in on me from the time like I met him. He would check in on me and be like, hey, how's it going? Or, if I posted a picture, he'd be like, I'm so proud of you, blah, 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 So it was really, really cool. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was like almost having like an uncle. Yeah. That's like checking in on you.
Yeah.
So proud of you. So it was cool. So campaign happens. I talked to him about some other things that I was trying to do and, but this one was the one that I just kind of kept. I was like, oh, I just need to be bothered with that. He has other things going on. So campaign rolls out. I dropped the first flyer for the beginning of campaign week. Middle of day 2 of campaign week. He sees the flyer. He snapshots it, sends it to my Instagram. He says, of all the things that we've discussed and talked about, and you didn't tell me you were running for a position for Miss Southern.
He DM'd you on that one.
Yes, he was upset. I was just like, oh my gosh, I really didn't, think anything
of it.
Yeah, I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, I just,
Yeah.
So he says,
you're a
what
busy
can
man.
I do? Right. He says, what can I do to help? I was like, well, Rick, if you want to, you can repost it. But he'd already reposted it.
Yeah,
he took it and posted it. He was just like, I'm already on it. So the rules for campaigning are very, very strict. So, like, one of the rules are you're not supposed to have outside, like, well, you're not supposed to have radio promotion or campaign.
Okay.
So there's that. And you're not supposed to have, what is it? No radio campaigning. And anybody that's not on your campaign team, they can't,
Yeah.
Right. So it's really, really strict. So
what's the loophole?
Follow
this one.
So we, I make it through the end of the week, and he's been like posting. Great. So, and the only way I found out was because somebody on my campaign team was like, I was on Instagram and I saw Ricky post. I said, you saw Ricky do what? He was like, yeah, I saw it this morning when I woke up. So I'm at my tent crying, bawling, like, oh my gosh, he really like did it. He really wants to support. So I'm just freaking out. So later that week, my mom came down from Shreveport. She came down to help me with my last days of campaigning. Yeah. And we were in her hotel room, and it was like, had to be like 5, 6 in the morning. Exhausted. Haven't slept in a week. Haven't eaten. So I'm just like down to my bare minimum. Like, right. I'm just pushing just strictly off of drive. Like, strictly off of gotta get it done. So it had been a long week. People were starting to get catty. Cool. So 6 in the morning, Ricky Smily sends us, he DMs me, he says, good morning, get up, turn the radio on now. And I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, what is going on? Like, of all the things I have to worry about, now he's got some stuff going on the radio. So I turn the radio on in the hotel. And I look at my Instagram, he had sent me a video of him on, like, in front of his mic, like, wherever he was. And he was just like, good morning, this is the Ricky Smiley Show, da da da. He was like, I just want to give a shout out to my girl Darby A. He spells out my name, Darby A. Smith. She's running for Miss Southern University at Southern Baton Rouge. And it's like, I need you guys to get out, and this is voting day.
Oh, okay.
I need you guys to get out and vote. I'll leave the instructions, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's really going for it. And I'm just, like, staring at the phone. I give it to my mom. My mom's just, like, in shock. So we're just looking at each other like,
that didn't count as, like, radio promotion, though?
So, here's the thing. So, after I get the call, they're like, we have to sanction you. And I'm just, like, hands are shaking. By the time my mom made it over to me from across the room, I passed out. Like, fainted. It was just too much. I was just happy, like, my mom's crying, I'm jumping around, like, can't believe what's happening. And then they call me and tell me I'm sanctioned on voting day, and my heart dropped to the floor. Literally.
What does it mean when they explain sanctioning? Like, what could you not do? So
sanctioning means I can't campaign at all. I can't talk about my campaign. I can't talk to anybody about votes. I can't, nothing. Nothing.
But you wasn't disqualified, though?
Not disqualified. I just can't campaign.
Okay.
So it was just like...
Does that include posting?
Yes.
Posting. You can't do anything.
I was devastated.
Right.
I was devastated. Like, oh my... It just felt like somebody just snatched it away from me.
Right.
And so that whole day, the rest of the day, I was just like, I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. So, it was just, oh Lord, it's all coming back. But it was a lot. So, I couldn't do anything. So, what I decided to do, couldn't wear my shirt. My team couldn't wear my shirt.
Wow.
I couldn't do anything. So,
the people around you couldn't do nothing?
Well, anybody that wasn't on my team. So, you have to write out a list of who all's on your team.
Okay.
So, basically, I just went and, no. They have to, I couldn't do anything until they come to me physically and sanction me. So, I was able to do a little bit when I got to campus. But then after that,
so they found you.
I was trying to do everything I could. So when they told me, I was like, well, I know the rules said they have to come get me. So I was like, let me do everything I can. So I went on campus. I was able to get everything set up for the day. And then as soon as they came to me and they emailed me with the actual sanction, I was out. So noon, about noon. So noon, I was done. So I had to take off all my shirts. All the anybody saw, you know, any of the officials saw my people with their shirt on, with their shirt on. They had to take it. I had some of them take it off and turn it on, put it on inside out because they couldn't go back to their room. So it was just a whole real on technicalities. Like,
but if someone wasn't on your team, could they still wear the shirt? Okay,
do whatever you want.
Okay.
So that's what I ended up playing as my strengths. So I was like, okay, cool. I can't campaign. I can't wear my shirt. I had to turn all of my billboards over on the ground. Can't be showing. Yes.
That's why you went ghosted that day.
Yes. So I couldn't do anything. So I was like, okay.
Because you know, I'm walking to my school. Yeah, I'm in the Lawson.
Right by your
You had a big ass sign on the bridge. I'm like, what happened to Darshine? So that's why you were okay.
I turned around so that way I wasn't.
I thought someone just got jealous and knocked your shit down. To be honest with you.
No, I had to. It was all in the rules. So I went to my room, changed outfits. It was raining that day. It was sticky. It was nasty. But my team was still out there, like, you know, let's go. So those that were on my team that weren't on the list of people that I had as my campaign team were going dumb. Like, I was like, I need you to be everywhere. I need you to be here. I need you to be here. I need you to be here. So it even got so bad to where, like, it just gets really catty when it comes to this. So, like, you know, people's moms were, like, going back and forth with my team members. And, like, it was just really, it was a lot. So, for some reason, I just had this, like, enormous faith that everything was going to be fine. And I was like, don't worry. Right. I told my whole team, I was like, I'm not tripping. We're gonna be fine. Like, it's gonna be fine. So, which I've never had before because I'm the most worrisome person you've ever met in your life. But this whole week, I was just like, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be straight. It's gonna be great.
And that's when the Melanin Bruce fam came in.
Yes. So
shout out to Dez.
Here's what happened. I told every person I knew, if you have a picture of me, if I can't campaign, you're gonna see my face.
Right.
Just know, you're gonna see my face. You're gonna see my name. So I told everybody, if you've ever taken a picture with me, post it today, all day until 5 o'clock. I can't post any campaign stuff. You're finna get every picture I've ever taken since I've been at Southern, every single one of them, all day long. Wow. And I posted every 30 minutes.
Wow.
Every 30 minutes, I posted a picture. And I would tag whoever was in the picture. I had my best friends were posting pictures. Every picture they've ever taken with me, they posted. So that was my way. I was like, I can't campaign, y'all are going to see my face. You're going to see my face. Because I'm not just going to go out. Right. I'm going out shooting. So it just turned into like this thing. So what happened was, I ended up telling Ricky what happened. And he was able to get in contact with my mom.
Okay.
So my mom and Ricky Smiley's talked on the phone for like 2 hours after this happened. And
you know what they said?
Just like, I was able to catch like maybe an hour of what they were talking about, but he was just like really calming my mom down. He was just like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay because she's destined for this. Like, this is her. She is going to be great. So we ended up telling him. So I didn't want to say anything when I originally got sanctioned because I didn't want him, I didn't know when the cutoff time for the morning show stopped, but I didn't want to tell him while he was still on the morning show for him to go in. Right. Like, I didn't want him to have a bad, like, you know.
Start bashing people.
Right. And I was just like, you know, there's a lot going on with the school, and me as a Southern student being talked about on a national radio show like this, for him to have given us such praises, he was like, Southern has given me so much, and they've always been supportive of me.
That would have been a bad look on Southern.
Right, and I was like, of all the things we have going on right now, Southern needed this right now.
Right.
So it would just be in bad taste for me to go and say, Ricky, let me tell you what Southern did.
Right.
And so I was just like, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want any, harm to come, because I said, ultimately, I love Southern. So I don't want anything bad, so regardless of if I win or not.
Right.
So he was just like really calming us down, really like giving me words of encouragement and wisdom, and he just really made me feel even more so okay about the situation than I made myself feel. So I was just like, I'm really not worried. He was like, well, how much longer until how much longer until, you know, we find out what happened? And we were like, we've got about 3 more hours, because it was about 2 o'clock. So 5 o'clock, that's when we were waiting on. So after about 2-3 hours of me just going hard, I was just like, God's got it.
Right.
It's in his hands. So I'm just not kind of stressed. Me and my mom went to Smoothie King.
Mm-hmm.
We took a nap. We changed clothes. You know, we went around and picked up all of my stuff and all of my billboards and push cards. We just picked it all up. Mm-hmm. And I told my team, I said, team, thank you for everything. You know, like, we really killed it. We really killed it. So regardless of what happens, even though I was so sure of myself. Like, I knew I won. Yeah. I was so sure. Like, I don't know where it came from, where this...
Hey, let me ask you, why do they not let the rest of us campers vote? Because we can't vote. As Lawson as we cannot vote, but we still go to school to the same campus.
I'm really not sure of that, so I'm assuming...
I wonder if I don't think the nursing people can vote either. I don't know if they can.
No, I think they can.
Well,
I think the nurses can, but I don't think
I'm really hating now. Like, why? How you gonna let them vote?
I don't think the law students can, just because you guys have your own governing body. You have a law.
Yeah, we have the SBA.
Yeah, so maybe that's it. I'm not really sure.
We ain't got no SBA ain't walking on that.
No,
SBA ain't walking for no world court. Yeah, if that was the case, I would run for SBA.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure on the particulars on that, but I was getting I got a lot of questions about that too. But I'm not really sure. But
you know, I would have voted for you.
Right?
Like, I would have made different email accounts so I could get more votes, so I could vote more than once.
But no, it all just kind of dwindled down to just those last few hours, and Ricky was like, "You call me as soon as they tell you, you know, what the results are." So we waited. I gathered my team up. Oh, it got so bad. Like, so they had people like spying. So like trying to make sure I wasn't campaigning.
Wow.
And it had turned into so bad. So as soon as that they found out I was sanctioned.
They had someone watching you.
Yes. So the calls to the election board were just flying in. They were just like, somebody just knows you're up to something. And I was like, I'm at Smoothie King. Like, I'm chilling. Like, what are you talking about? So it was just really rough. So finally get to 5 o'clock. We all gather around and we're standing there. And I instantly just like, I closed my eyes. There were a sea of people around me. I closed my eyes. My mom was standing right next to me. And I just calmed myself. It was like, oh my gosh, it was just like a calmness I've never experienced before. It was just like everything was quiet, even though there were people around me. Everything was quiet. Like my brain was slowed down. Like, I was so calm. And I guess the Lord knew I needed that, because I wasn't shaking. I wasn't, you know.
So how'd you feel when you well, there's an email that you got, right?
Yeah, when they
check for the results.
No. You stand on the steps of the student union and they come down the hall. It's so dramatic.
Oh, wow.
They come down this long hall with the results. And they first do all the amendments, like any amendments to the Constitution or any referendums for like fees, student fees, or, you know, like do we want to continue paying for the bowling alley to be done, or do we, you know, it's just stuff like that. So after they do that, they go from they go from the top down, or is it the top up? There's an order. So they go from like, who are the those that are like freshman representative, well, not freshmen because the freshmen are in the fall, but sophomore, junior, senior, and then they go Miss Southern, president, vice president, chief justice, all the rest of the presidents. So I'm sitting there and they call they call everybody but me. So after there was only 1, 2, 4, I think there were 4 of us. Okay. They called all of these numbers, and I think they called mine second to last. And I was listening to the numbers, and I was like, oh my gosh. So when they called my number, I knew I'd beat out the other 2. So when they called the last one, I boo-hooed. Because I was like everybody was like screaming. I don't think it registered in my head that I won until like they were screaming for at least 30 seconds, and I was just like instantly started crying.
How much did you win by?
I won by almost 900 votes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a landslide.
Yes.
Wow.
So it was like 890 something, but 900 votes. So I was just like in absolute shock.
Yeah.
Absolute shock. I was just like, all my hard work had paid off. I hadn't slept in days. I hadn't eaten in
you was up.
So
at that point, yeah, you ain't going to sleep at that point.
I was just like, I'm just gonna pass out. My mom was boo-hooing. She called. She had Ricky on the phone, and she put it to my ear. I was like, Ricky, I won. And he was just like, oh my God. So he started screaming, and like we're calling all of my family members, and everybody's just like hollering, like, and it had been a long road, like, and I had so many people to thank, like my church back at home. They'd given me like $1,500 for my campaign, and without that money I would have been
SOL.
I wouldn't have been able to buy anything. So like it's just been beyond, it was just beyond an experience. So oh my God, I can't even. I still getting chills. But yeah, it was just like an absolute.
I feel like this is an exclusive. Like, have you ever talked about this to anybody?
Not when it's recorded.
Not when it's recorded, yeah. It's
just been like a really amazing experience. So, and Ricky's still been supportive through even after that, you know. And he still checks in on me, and you know, I check in on him, and what was it? A couple of months ago, we saw his Unsung episode on TV, and my mom recorded it so I could watch it when I got back home. And I just messaged him. I was like, "Hey, me and my mom saw your Unsung episode, and we were just like, you know, I really appreciate you for, you know, believing in me and taking out time to kind of, you know, mold and shape me. Just because watching his story, he's come from so little, and he's created this platform to where he's had such a huge impact and influence on people. So for him to just, you know, roll upon me and be like, I believe in this one too. Yeah,
pluck you up from the
so that's just been like, you know, and he was just like, you know, whatever you need, literally, that's him all the time. And like he'll just check in on me, and sometimes we'll go into like, he'll just drop gems on me and be like, you know, don't worry about this.
Those are blessings.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need, especially us, you know, young millennials, we need that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like sometimes it just takes a little shaking to be like, this is reality.
Yeah. Because you know, we tend not to listen to our parents, because they're the closest to us. But when someone who is a complete stranger says the exact same thing,
like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's like we're bugged out. We're listening. We take everything in because they're like. Yeah, because they're like so far away from us. Like, yeah, but and then your parents are like, I've been saying that shit my whole life.
Right, and that's exactly what how my mom reacted. She was like, I've been telling you your whole life, but we'll take it from Rick too. Yeah. But yeah, that's the story of becoming Miss Southern. So of course there was backlash, but it wasn't anything that I couldn't handle. It did end up opening a private investigation into me winning, but it got dropped.
Wait, who did? Why? I can't even get the question out. You know, why would they do that?
Because
who did that?
Because of the technicalities, you know, I guess I'm assuming they just wanted to make sure that it was for true, which I can understand. Yeah. But it was just, I guess it was hard to believe. Like, I told my team from jump, I'm running a clean campaign. I'm not going to be dirty. Even if I could help somebody, even if it would, like, you know, there's all kinds of technicalities you can get sanctioned for, like not posting a picture or posting a poster on the wrong wall or on glass windows, because you know they try to keep up the integrity of the building, so they don't want anything, you know, to mess up the buildings or, you know, downgrade them. So anything like that, if I saw a picture somewhere, I would be like, just take it down. Don't send it in to the elections board. You know, just take it down. We don't want anybody to get in trouble. We just want a clean race. So everything's fair. So whoever's supposed to win wins. So I was just like, just take it down. You know, it could have been a team member that didn't know, because we're all new to. You know, so just take it down. So I told them, if you do something, or if you feel compelled to turn something in because that's how you want to be, that's on you. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I want, as for my knowledge, I want everything that I do to be fair. Everything got.
And when you say take it, it was like if they saw something else.
Yeah, so
that
like
you didn't like. If they saw one of your opponents do it, just take it down for them.
Yeah, just like if you know, or if they have. I was always want to clean up, so we can get in trouble if we have push cards on the ground after the day is up. I pick up everybody's stuff and return it back to them. Yeah. You know, like, hey, I picked these up. I was cleaning up. I saw your stuff, and I would divvy everybody's stuff up. I would go to everybody. Hey, you know, it didn't matter if they were in my race. It didn't matter if they were running for senator, running for president. Right. I mean, what? How is me leaving it there? You know, hurting me. Right. So.
Looking out for each other.
Yeah, and I was like,
getting rid of that crab in the barrel mentality, right?
Right. Ultimately, we're all trying to be a representation of the school, so let's start by being a representation of the school. Right. So that's how I was going through the whole week. Yeah. So it might have just been hard for some people to, you know, understand that, but I wanted the best for everybody, even through practicing, because we have to do a pageant and all that stuff. Even through practicing. I told actually I was running against one of my friends. And I was like, okay, I'm going to need you to get this dance together so that way we can all look good. Because at the end of the day, you're my friend. And friend, I need you to look good, all right? So it was just kind of like, and I just kept that. Anything that they needed, I was like, do you need something? Are you thirsty? Do you know, throughout the day because it's hot. Right. So, you know, just checking out because we're people. Yeah. You know? So it was just. It turned into a whole private investigation thing. Some people were just upset, which I understand. And we haven't had any sleep, so of course.
You won by 900 votes. I mean, like, but I want to recount.
But no, there were a lot of things that came up. They were just like, you know, by her having, you know, Ricky Smiley shout her out.
They were hating on that.
They were just like, you know, that's influencing people that were voting that may not. And I was like, first of all, look at the demographic for the show. As millennials, we don't really listen to the radio because we're always got our aux cord in our car. Yeah. So, and especially at 8 in the morning, what college students, you know, is up. And if they are up, they
ain't watching the radio. Class. Yeah, and ain't listening to the radio.
So it was more so of a like, let's think here. So yes, the promotion was great on a personal brand move, but as far as this election goes, right. So it's up to the students here, you know, and it's not like it played through the union. It played in the car radio. Yeah. You know, so.
And he didn't post it to social media, did he?
No, but see that's where I ended up getting in trouble. So once I remember I told you people were like they were taking videos of the radio that morning and sending it to me. Me being excited, I took the post and posted it. Now it's radio campaigning.
Oh, okay.
So that's that's what ended up actually getting me sanctioned. So it was the actual time that I posted the video.
The one he DM'd you.
Yeah. Okay. So it was just like, you know, dang. So I took my lick, but at the end of the day, it was just like I ran a clean race. And that's what I wanted to say at the end. I ran a clean race. Right. So, and I you know, that was for my conscience. Yeah. Because I was like, I can't go to sleep and be like, yeah. You know, so it was just, whew, it was a lot. But we're here.
Yeah, we're here. We're at the top. Southern royalty, you know.
We're here, and it's been an amazing experience. Like, even so, homecoming, we usually have a brunch for like all the old queens to come back. They gave me so much knowledge. And like hearing
you're number 88.
88,
right?
yeah. 88, okay. So, and it was a good like 20 old queens that came back, and just giving all of their wisdom and knowledge and sharing their experiences. Like, I even had one queen tell us back when they would have the parade, even down at the Bayou Classic, there were like people saying that, oh no, we don't want these queens here because they're black, or they were supposed to all be on a float for something. So it was like some other Louisiana queens and stuff. They were all supposed to be on a float. And Miss Grambling and Miss Southern at the time, they were, of course, the only two black girls. None of the rest of those queens showed up because they didn't want to be on the same float. Mind-boggling. So as they're telling this story, I'm just like, what? Wow. So it was just a lot of history. And then we have an organization called the Southern Sisters. Okay. So it's every Miss Southern that there's possibly been.
Okay, so what is a typical day in the life of Miss Southern?
So a typical day would be, wake up. I usually check my planner.
Okay.
If I don't have a planner, what is life?
Right.
Check my planner. Usually I'll have maybe 1 to 2 meetings a day, depending on what's going on campus and what semester it is. So like, it's spring semester, so I'll have multiple meetings leading up until Spring Fest and any of the other stuff we have, so like Mardi Gras events, stuff like that. And I have my own events on my platform. So for the past few days, I've actually gone to campus. I went to campus yesterday to meet with my advisor, make sure I had all of my stuff for registering for classes, because at the end of the day, I'm still a student.
Right.
So, of course, a normal day would be going to class, meetings in between, planning my own events, and collaborating with other people. And then throughout the day, talking with students, because student engagement is important.
Yeah.
So anytime a student has a problem, or, you know, we're ultimately the liaison between students and faculty administration. Right. So anytime a student has a problem, they're more apt to come to a student leader than they are to go straight to administration.
Right.
And we usually are able to navigate them a little bit better. So maybe if they have a problem, they say, oh, I went to so-and-so, we'll be like, well, that's probably not where you should have gone. Try this place and see how it works.
Right.
So, and I take pride actually in that, helping students get back into school, helping students, you know, write letters to get where they need to go, or taking them to wherever they need to be. I've enjoyed that part of the reign, just, you know, being the ultimate liaison to help students, you know, navigate that.
Okay, so as a student, because you, like you said, at the end of the day, you're still a student, and the fact that you're Miss Southern, like, are teachers more lenient to you, or do you have like more added pressure on top of you?
They're a little bit more understanding, just because I'm almost like a faculty member. So there's a lot of times I'm requested by the president to come speak, or requested by alumni to come someplace, or go someplace, or go to an interview, do this, do that, speak here. So they're a lot more lax, I'll say, but they expect nothing less. You know, still my work has to be of quality. You know, whenever I absolutely can get something in and done when everybody else does it, that's, you know, definitely encouraged. And I take it as a challenge myself to make sure that, you know, I don't completely lose sight of being an actual student. But there are a lot of times where there's some obligations and engagements I can't get out of, so I have to go be Miss Southern, even though being a student comes first, but I picked, you know, I chose the role. So
okay, so what does being Miss Southern mean to you?
Oh my gosh, it means a lot. I can't really sum it up into like a couple of words, but it means that, well, for me, I really did miss the whole Miss Southern thing for myself, because it was more so proving to myself that I could do it. So it wasn't, there were a lot of people that told me, oh, I think you would be a great Miss Southern, or you would be a great moral model, great student leader. And I took it in, but it was more so like, okay, Darb, do you want to do this stuff? So just the whole aspect of being a role model for other people, that's what it means to me. And just more so doing the work, changing the narrative and the actual representation of Miss Southern, a Southern lady, a Southern student, a Southern female, all of that, because I am Southern. So I have to make sure that, you know, I'm on a piece of cute. So it just kind of keeps me being the best Darb that I can be. So it's a constant reminder that I have to keep learning, keep growing. Right.
Well, you know, at this point, anything in life that comes at you, if you can do this on top of being a student, you can tackle anything.
If you can go through a Southern campaign, you can conquer the world.
All right. So, what are some of the perks of that you get from being Miss SU? Because I know you get a lot of perks.
Okay, well,
you know, you're not just a regular student.
No, no.
I mean, you're celebrity status on campus. Like, you can't go nowhere on campus without getting recognized.
True. So, okay,
like Southern has Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Do you pay for your own Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
You do?
Yes, I pay for my own Chick-fil-A.
You pay for your own Chick-fil-A?
Yes, I pay for other people's Chick-fil-A.
What?
Yes.
You would think that, man, Southern have you covered. Man, look, Miss Southern hungry, man, we got it.
Now, but that's just, I think that comes down to the actual queen person themselves. So I've never been like let me reap all the benefits. That's never been me. Okay. So I'm kind of like I'm okay. So I mean, but some of the perks would definitely be coming with the role itself. My tuition is paid.
Okay.
My room and board and housing is paid. So I live in a 2-bedroom apartment on campus, first floor. I have 2 parking spots on campus by the student union and 1 by my apartment.
Oh, okay. I said that, but yeah.
Yeah, 2-bedroom apartment. So that's cool. I need the closet space. But yeah, that's really cool. Most of the time, I'm more apt for job opportunities just because my face is out there. I do good work, you know. Right. So I get to tell my story a lot. So the more people that hear my story, the more opportunities are open and available. The following is great, especially for what I want to do after school and being in marketing. It gives me more of a playground to kind of, you know.
What do you want to do after school?
So after I graduate, after I, you know, get all the rest of my certifications, I really want to go into social media, influencing, blogging, stuff like that. Okay. But I do want to work corporate a little bit, just for the experience, because ultimately the goal is to work for myself. So
get that experience.
Get the experience, understand how the market works, all of that stuff. But working for just a social media marketing firm, any marketing firm, advertising. My concentration is in sales, so if I went to any job in sales, I could. I'm a great salesperson, actually. So I can tell you.
Sell water to a whale.
Right.
Huh?
And tell you all the benefits. It's great. You know, sweet talk your way right on in there. But yeah, that's what I plan to do after school. And I have a lot of trades. Photography, artistry, makeup artistry. I'm pretty techie, so that's cool. And then just a bunch of other things. Like I was talking to you earlier, growing up, being a lifeguard, swim instructor. So I was well-rounded. So I think that kind of pushes me to kind of whatever I want to do.
Get your hands in everything.
Yeah, I kind of have a hand in everything. So, but I would also love, on the side of doing that, I would love to be a young woman's mentor, kind of spokesperson, you know.
Well, you already kind of that sort of.
But more so, you know, on like a let's go on a tour and talk to all these kids. Yeah,
that would be dope.
And I really like talking to like middle school to high school students. You know, the little kids love to see the crown. They're just like, oh, a princess. But the older ones, they kind of understand the role a little bit more, and
they see you a little more.
Right.
Yeah.
They look more into, okay, so you're a queen, but what else do you do? Because you're in school, so you must be trying to go do something.
Right.
You know, you stepped into this role, but what was your original, you know, plan? So they listen to that more, and you can kind of touch them a little bit more, and they're more, you know, perceptive to. You know.
So let's take me back, because when you first got elected and you became Miss Southern, Southern, you went on like this college tour, right? I saw you. You and the president. Y'all was going a bunch of places.
We were doing recruitment for high schoolers. Okay. So that's kind of your everyday. Once you win, like as soon as you win, you're on like a tour across every Texas, wherever we have a game. So like we usually go before the football team to the game a day before to do recruitment at high school. So we have alumni networks all over the country. So the alumni networks will set it up. Okay. They'll have a rep, an alumni rep an recruitment rep to come with us and facilitate. But they go to these schools on a regular basis to talk to the kids and talk to the students. They know, you know, who to talk to, who not to talk to. So, but we'll talk to them. We'll sit down. They'll set it up. They'll give us a room. We'll tell them we'll give them the real. Okay. And then we'll give them, you know, the Southern spiel. Like, you know, come Southern.
Could you use that as a way to like mentor the young girls?
Absolutely.
That way?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll always be a Southern recruiter. Okay. Always. So, you know, anybody that tells me to go to school, you should definitely go to Southern. Doesn't matter what you're in.
Take away the crown. You still don't say that.
You should always go to Southern now. But I've been saying that since I was, you know, my mom pretty much burned it into my brain.
Southern.
You can go to any HBCU, but the
only one
I'm paying for
is Southern. Hey, my pops did the same thing to me about the fraternity life. Yeah. Then you can pledge anything you want. But I'm only paying for alpha. You know. Yeah. Right.
So yeah, that's I'm always going to be a Southern recruiter. And I even actually thought about after school, if I wanted to go ahead and if I decide to, you know, bite the grit and go to grad school right after, I would look into recruitment at Southern. And because I mean, I'm already a recruiter for Southern, so I would just kind of fall in line. Right. But yeah, I would really enjoy talking to those young ladies, molding them, just kind of giving them the role model I wish I had, which I had great role models, but
a role model around your age too,
right?
You know,
somebody that was a little bit closer to me, just to be like, oh, you know, if you can do it, I can do it, and I'm gonna help you do it. So yeah, just I would love to do that. That would be like ideal.
What kind of access do the students actually have to you on campus?
Most of their access is via social media.
Social media. Okay.
So, just because I've got to graduate, I've got to get out after class, I have to study, go to office hours, plan, you know. So for the most part, I'm always ripping and running. So if anybody sees me on campus, I'm walking fast, trying to get to where I'm going. Or I'm in my car zooming past. But for the most part, I have an office on campus on the second floor of the Union. So we're actually going to start office hours this semester. So if they have anything or they want to pop in, sit and talk with me, they have a desk, computer, all that. So they can stop in, talk to me. That's cool. But for the most part, they engage via social media. So they'll DM me. I've been answering questions about enrollment and registering on Twitter since school got out. So there's a lot of prospective students. So I've even had some students, I give my Instagram, my Twitter to the kids when we go to recruit at high schools, because that's their best way to contact me. So they'll contact me and be like, hey, I have more questions from when you came. Do you remember me? I usually do end up remembering them, surprisingly. But they're free to ask questions, and then some of them follow me and they stay with me, in contact with me all the way up until they actually come to Southern. Okay. So I try to answer any questions. If they have questions that, you know, they need to actually go to the office, I'll take that upon myself. Go ask, because I have the connections. So to save them time, go ask the questions, point them in the right direction, and go from there. But yeah, the students on campus are the same way. So they'll DM. Actually, the other day I was on Twitter and I was looking for events for the spring, new events. I wanted to bring them something fresh, something we haven't done before. It's me. So they basically just tweeted me and told me, hey, here's an idea about this, and I'm using some of them. Right. So yeah, they're definitely in contact with me, and I don't want to ever lose that aspect. And me and the president talk about that all the time. We don't ever want to lose touch of what the students want. Right. So we always want them to be heard. Right. So just listening to them, having real conversations with them on a daily, if we ever get the time to stop and talk. But they cherish that time, like, you know, oh, I was talking to Miss Southern in the caf, and she's actually a really good conversation. She's a real person. Right. So, you know, and I try to make sure they understand, like, you know, if I do stop and talk with them, I actually tell them how I'm doing. Right. Because anybody could be great on any day. But you're like, I'm good, you know, I'm really out of gas. You know, I'm out of gas. I failed a test today, but it's okay. It's okay. Hey, you know, but yeah, just to be real with them so they understand you're not just here with all the perks and the nice clothes and the, you know. Just to let them know that they were a real person who were just selected by you all to represent you. Right.
You know I do.
Okay, so how would someone, if there's someone want to join your team, could they? How could they go about doing that? Because you as a Miss Southern on campus, you have awesome leverage. Mm-hmm. Your leverage is by far probably more than any regular student, right? Give or take. Mm-hmm. Now you give or take. It is. It's a fact. Right. So if someone wanted to get close to you, to meet the people you meet, that you have the ability to meet, how can they go about doing that?
I would say it depends on what it is. So okay. I'm really particular about who I allow in my circle and who I allow to have access to my network. Okay. So just because I know the kind of person I am, so I've always been, if you give me a task, I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do it to the best of my ability and make sure all of my T's are crossed, I's are dotted, and I don't do any funny business. Like, we're in this for business. Like, right. That's most of my network. And then I have, like my board of trustees, people that I go to consult with. But I would definitely say it took me a long time. So once I get established, because you never want to take food out of your own mouth. Right. But once I really got into my niche for the whole photography thing, mm-hmm. that's when I started getting people, I think you should go talk to my mentor about it. Mm-hmm. And that was after I got my feet good, to be able to even have the credibility to give somebody that kind of advice. Yeah. So I definitely think it just depends. It depends on the topic. It depends on which part of the network you're trying to, get in touch with. I don't go around giving out Ricky Smiley's, info or anything, just because, it's right. Relationships are built how they're built, so right, you don't want to sacrifice that or
it will take someone they have to be around you a lot, and you have to
be somebody I trust myself, because I would never and that goes as far as recommendations. Like if I have somebody I've worked with for a long time, even for the club when mm-hmm. I stopped shooting at the club. And they like, Darb, we need a photographer, and I'd be like, I can't do it, but here's somebody I can recommend. And this is like, say for instance, Dez mm-hmm. with Melanin Rouge. I would recommend Dez for anything, right? Anywhere, because I know he's gonna show up. I know he's not gonna be on any funny business. He's gonna give you the best quality work that he has, mm-hmm. and then it'll go from there. But somebody that's just starting out or so, I would definitely have to see that you're worth me putting my name on the line. Right. Yeah. Yeah,
that makes perfect sense. Yeah. You gotta build it up. Right.
And that's the same thing other people did with me. Mm-hmm. Before they put their name on the line, they know that I'm going to come in and do what I said I was going to do. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about the perks. Mm-hmm. What's the hardest thing about being Miss Southern?
The hardest part is the accessibility people have to me. Because it's a blessing and a curse. Okay. I love it just because, I love social media. I love the whole concept and idea of it. Mm-hmm. But I'm a private person. Okay. To an extent. So constantly having people trying to find out, prying in, I give them access. I love sharing my family. I love sharing my boyfriend. I love sharing my hobbies. But when it comes to things that I'm actually working on myself, mm-hmm. or it's kind of like we all kind of hide our shortcomings. Right. But I get really personal about things that I'm struggling with, or mm-hmm. Just regular life lessons that I'm learning. So kind of finding the line finding the line where I cut off my private life from Miss Southern, mm-hmm. and people after they see Miss Southern, they want to know who Darby is, and I'm like, whoa, mm-hmm. that's a lot. So it's just kind of finding the line just so that I can still remain Darby without meshing Miss Southern and Darby together. So and I think that's going to be a challenge for me after I graduate as well, trying to re-identify myself. Mm-hmm. Separating Darby from Miss Southern. Right. So, but yeah, the access to people, and I only have a small group of friends. Mm. I know a lot of people.
You have a lot of associates.
But they're not friends. Right. So, and I'm a trust person. Yeah, and so growing up, my siblings and cousins were my best friends. So I didn't have a lot of outside friends. Yeah. So it's just a trust thing, because and I'm a like I said earlier, I'm a very independent person. Mm-hmm. So I try to see if I can do it first without asking, and then if I absolutely need help, mm-hmm. then I'll ask. But if I can do it on my own, mm-hmm. bet.
I almost wonder how would it be if your twin brothers, both of your twin brothers, if they went to Southern, would it be like your personal bodyguards almost?
Yeah, absolutely. They were like that in high school. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it would be.
Like you walk into the union.
My playground.
Miss Sutton's here. Move.
It would definitely be a playground. I think I would have adapted a lot easier if my brothers were there. But I think I did pretty good by myself.
Yeah, you did awesome by yourself. You know.
Yeah, but no, I would definitely have had more adventures because they're hilarious. They are hilarious.
So what are some of the things you have accomplished for yourself and for with the school since being grounded Southern?
Let's see. Definitely my following. So that was one of my goals. Was I needed to hold a following, and I wanted to find my purpose, my why. So I did find that. So yay.
What is your purpose and why?
So my purpose, I just want to be. I want to be a beacon of hope for people. You know, like I grew up in the country. My parents were divorced. I'm a triplet on top of that.
Right.
So like money was funny, of course. But I didn't have. I just came to school with I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I made it happen for myself. Yeah. So I opened all these avenues for myself. And I've kind of I'm on a journey. So I feel lately I've kind of lost that same drive I've had. But I'm slowly starting to get it back because I was just fearless. I was like, oh, okay, I can do anything. Right. And I credit that to my mom mostly, but because she just made us believe we could do whatever we wanted and be successful at it as long as we tried. Right. So I want that to be something somebody else can look at and be like, wow, she did it. This is how she did it. She didn't have but a few people behind her, but she did it. And she built it. So that's my purpose, is to just be that beacon of hope for people. For people like me, people that, grew up the same way I did. Which I think that's kind of everybody's, but we all have our own story. Right. So I want to make sure my story is the one that helps people. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Because, in order to like really the fact that you're this young and your why and your purpose is amazing. Because and you probably see it. How many people like your age, they don't know why they do what they do. They're just doing it, or they're going through the motions. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's just because growing up, I wish I had somebody I wish I had me to look up to. Somebody that's doing everything they want to do, and knowing that there's some bumps in the road, but she still did it. So I just want to be that for people. Right. And what you said earlier is major key. You have a mentor. You probably have several mentors at this point. Several. And that's key. There's a lot of people out there who don't have a mentor, or they don't know how to get one. And basically it just boils down to just seeing the person who you want to be your mentor. Absolutely. And shooting a shot and finding some type of way to bring value to them. Absolutely. Like you never should approach somebody and say, I want you to be my mentor.
But
no, you have to. Yeah. What can you offer them for them to be your mentor?
Right. Absolutely. And I think that's definitely an art. Like you have to build that confidence. You have to Now there's sometimes I may find somebody that I'm just like, oh, I just wanna nurture you and watch you blossom, but that's very rare. Right. Very rare. Just because people are doing their own thing, But the one moment, just like with Ricky Smily, he didn't have to stop during his day, but he was just like, let me just mold you and support you and give you everything else that you need.
And that changed your life.
Changed my life. So sometimes it's just that 1 in a million chance. And I picked up 2 mentors. I picked up 2 mentors during my campaign. Actually, that week I picked up 2, and they called me for everything. Right. But I love it because they're so driven. They're so ambitious. They have all these things that they want to do, and I'm right there. Yeah. One of them ran for. One of them did elections at McKinley. And I showed up because somebody showed up for me. So I made sure that I was there. I helped her.
The high school.
Okay. I made sure I was there. I made sure I helped her prep. Like I even talked her out of not wanting to do it at all. I was like, no, I can't let you do that. Like you gotta get out there and do this because this is an opportunity of a lifetime. Win or lose, this is an experience. Character. Yeah. Yes, and I'm all about building character because it's the times that you're building character that get you through even the hardest of times.
Facts.
So that's what I want.
That's a quote too. That's a quote. I'm gonna have to quote you in the description.
That's definitely a thing. Like, and like I said, it all ties back to track. Those times when I came out the
gas on the last leg and you to keep going.
Yeah, it's just those times when you maybe had a bad week, but it's track meet time and you've got to really push through. You know, mentally, physically, emotionally, because all that plays into athleticism. But it's definitely those times when I'm just like, okay, I'm getting to that last stretch.
Yeah.
I just need to get to the line, and all of it just comes together. Yeah, just finish. But yeah, there's a lot of times that remind me of like the one time I fell over a hurdle, scratched my back up, skin gone, bleeding, just down and out. But I always get up.
Right.
And I always hear my mom in the back of my head. She would always be at the track and she'd be like, "Get up!"
Get up! I learned that lesson a while back when I was first starting my podcast journey. I didn't back up everything I was supposed to and lost 6, 7 interviews. And I was like, man, that's that kill. Like for some regular person like who's not adapt to take a blow like that. That could be a death killing blow for them. Like I don't want to do it no more.
Absolutely. I agree. But you got to keep going. You got to keep going. There's always going to be something else out there.
Yeah.
You may have missed an opportunity, but there's more opportunities out there.
There's always going to be more opportunity.
Endless
there's always going to be one.
Yeah.
I follow and I listen to a lot of multi-millionaires and
welcome it. You have to. It changes your whole mindset when you think about that too. That way, you always keep going, whether you fail or not.
Yeah.
Because if you succeed, yay.
It's good. Yeah.
If you fail,
what not to do.
Right.
And, let's do it again, but let's tweak it.
Exactly. And you never know. That one failure might be the spark to successes.
Right.
On and on and on.
Right.
And on.
And that and just maintain a consistency.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because this may be the video that makes me blow up into sky high. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We never know.
You never
but you gotta try.
Right.
You have to.
Right.
If you don't, then it's all for nothing.
Facts.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been Miss Southern for how long?
I've been Miss Southern for 9 months.
9 months. Okay, so in your tenure of being Miss Southern, what would you say is your most memorable moment?
Oh man. My most memorable moment. My coronation. My coronation. So, I'm unofficially Miss Southern until I'm coronated at homecoming. So that's the Wednesday of homecoming week.
I did not know that.
Yeah, right. So, until I get my crown, I'm not officially Miss Southern. Miss Southern, but I'm not officially Miss Southern.
Okay.
So, I'll still go to the games, no crown, none of that. I'll go with the sash, but no crown. So, coronation is when I'm crowned. My little miss is crowned, and the rest of my court is crowned. And that's in front of all of the
whole student body,
all of dignitaries and administration, and all of the Southern system. So SUSLA, SUNO, they all come. Even actually, SUSLA, Southern at Shreveport.
Oh.
Southern at Shreveport.
I didn't know we had that.
Southern at New Orleans.
I know the Suno one.
Yeah, and then I became really close friends with Miss Grambling.
Okay.
Shout out to you, Jamarie.
I know. There was a picture going viral on social media with you, Miss Grambling.
Oh, Miss Xavier, Miss PV, and
everybody.
It was like we all made friends at this conference that we all go to. All the HBCUs, and we just all kicked it off. We're actually planning a Queens trip to go with each other after we graduate.
Oh, that's lit. That's gonna be lit.
So every time we link up, it's great. But no, Miss Grambling came to my coronation. I went to hers.
Okay.
So that was really, really, really fun. But it was just all of those people were there for me.
Yeah.
And of course my court, but just to know that this whole thing was orchestrated for me. So I think the highlight had to be there were so many surprises that day. So that whole week I was a wreck because a lot of the people that helped me through my campaign and planning and just molded me as a woman while I was at Southern, they were just dropping out like flies. They were like, "Oh, Darb, something came up at work. I'm not going to be there," or I wasn't getting any messages back, or people just weren't showing up. And I remember just before I picked my sister up, I was in my car and I cried in my car because it was like, it's going to be terrible. Like, nobody's coming. Like, I want everybody to be here with me and share this moment with me. But coordination came. I ended up doing my own makeup. My hairstylist came, did my hair. And I was just kind of waiting for everybody to get there. So I was kind of somber, I'm not going to lie. So go time came, my dress was in. And that was another thing too. My best friend's mom designed my dress and created my dress. And she was just there with me. She was there with me when I decided I wanted to be Miss Senior. And she's been supporting me ever since.
That's
so that whole ordeal was cool. And then the actual moment, so when I sat I came out of the dressing room and I was on backstage about to go to the front to be presented. I came out in a cage. So I rolled the cage, so it was almost like letting a bird, a dove loose. But they put me in the cage and I just sat there, and the same calmness I felt when I won was the same calmness I had in the cage. So I was just sitting there, and I was just like, if I didn't find God any other time, I found it during this reign. So just sitting there, and I was just in all gratitude and just, like, wow, this is really happening. I really made it this far. I flashed back to when I won, and I was just like, wow, we went from boo-hooing over winning to now being coordinated. So that was just full circle. So I was just kind of like taking it all in and just like really being appreciative. So they put me in this cage, they covered me up, and I asked my advisor, I was like, so who's rolling me out? Because I can't just walk out. Like, who's rolling me out in this cage? So she wouldn't tell me. So they covered the cage with this like blanket thing and rolled me out, and I could just hear they were going back and forth and arguing. I was like, who is this? So I get out, they open the cage, and I look to the side, and it's my two brothers.
Oh, that's
dressed.
Awesome.
They had like my mom, Dapper Royalties. Shout out to Shaq. He was one of my mentors too, but he made bow ties for my boyfriend, my dad, and my two brothers. Okay. Because I wanted him to be a part of my day. So they came. They had their tuxedos on, their bow ties, and they're looking at me. They're like, "Hey, Dar." So anybody
you didn't think it was coming.
I didn't know that they were going to be a part of everything. So I was just sitting there like, "Oh my gosh." So they surprised me. They let me out of the cage, and they were I was homecoming queen in high school. And I was in a parade. I was the first homecoming queen to walk the parade on our campus. And they were like, she's like Michelle Obama, but they were my Secret Service. So they wore their suits and shades. Okay. So it just replayed that moment for me. And
you're gonna make people want to have twins. Or triplets, just so they can imitate.
Yeah, they're awesome. But it just replayed that moment for me, and then there were even more surprises after that. So after that happened, they sit me up on the throne, and all that happens, and then I'm sitting there, and they start, they say now's the time for gifts. So I'm sitting there, and my mentor that told me he wasn't coming for work reasons pops up with all these gifts in his hand. So I start boohooing. I'm just like, you said you weren't coming. You said you weren't coming, and I believed you, and now you're here. Man. So I'm boohooing. I cried the whole night. Wow. I would like dry him up, and then I'd be sitting there and smile for the pictures, and then something else would happen. I would cry again. So he showed up, and that was just a mess. He was like, stop crying. I was like, just crying.
This wasn't at the game, though.
No, this was at the coronation itself.
The coronation itself.
So after that happened, of course, they have like entertainment. So dancers come and they present. So the Golden Blues, the director of the Golden Blues is Jonas Vanderbilt, and Jonas Vanderbilt taught me all there is. Like, he taught me everything about being a woman, being, having poise, having grace, just how to carry yourself as a woman, which is crazy.
I'm looking at you right now. Your posture is amazing. Like, you're just sitting up there.
It's so natural.
It's natural at this point, right?
It's so natural, but like he really everything my mom taught me. He molded and perfected while I was away at school. So I'm just so grateful for just his existence. Period. But he dances. So the Golden Blues came out and they're dancing, and then this person is hiding, and then they open up and he's there, and I just boo-hoo even more because nobody has seen this man dance. Like, he's like an Alvin Ailey. Oh my gosh, the best thing you've ever seen in your life. So here he is dancing for me in front of all these people, and I'm just like, just crying, just a mess. Wow. An absolute mess. And then my biological dad showed up, which was Oh my gosh, he looked great. He brought his now fiance. So him being there was awesome. My pop, my stepdad, we're like thick as thieves. He's like one of my best friends. He was there, and just having him there always calms me down because I know everything's gonna be fine. But just having all these people here. My sister flew in from Colorado.
Oh man.
You know, everybody was dressed. It was just like something.
Did you have a videographer like record everything?
No, well, a little bit. I had my mentor Garrett. He was there to record a couple of snippets for my Ebony video because I'm doing the Ebony competition. What is that? So every year, the HBCU Campus Queens, we all compete for votes to be the top 10 HBCU Campus Queens. Okay. So Ebony picks they get the top 10, and you're in the book, you're in the magazine. So, but actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know if you're aware, but Bennett College is an all-women's university in what is that? North Carolina. Okay. North Carolina. They're down the street from North Carolina A&T. But they're about to be shut down for accreditation. So they had like a $5.8 million deficit that they had to pay. So I think they've been able to raise like 2.5 of that. But they've only got like a few weeks left to do that. So basically it was brought to our attention, you know, as queens, we were like, has Ebony done anything, you know, to help, you know, raise awareness for this to get you guys made? And she was like, no. She totally has bypassed the whole promoting for the Ebony campaign because she's strictly going on social media to advocate for her school, as a queen should. Right. So it's been nonstop, just like she doesn't want her school closed. And of course, being a senior, you don't want your school closed before you get your degree. Right. So I can only imagine the stress she's going through right now. But she kind of we all kind of reached out to each other and we were like, do you see what's going on? So basically what's happening right now is some of the HBCU queens across the country are forfeiting their votes to be able to give Brooke the platform, forfeiting them to her, to put her in the top 10, to give her the platform to speak about it in Ebony. Wow. So, it's a big thing. Good. It's a big thing because
y'all coming together to help someone.
Yeah, for a real purpose, because we were all kind of thinking like, what does Ebony really do? Like, are we is this just a promo for Ebony, or, you know, of course we're going to be in the magazine, but we're like, if Ebony can do anything, it's shining light on HBCUs, yes, but one of them's about to close. You know, there's only a handful of us, so, you know, right now. So witnessing one closing is like devastating. You know, so we've just been really trying to help advocate. So the hashtag is Stand with Bennett. And they have a Cash App and everything. I guess I can give you all those links.
Yeah, we can put all that in the description. So
but yeah, so just trying to advocate for Brooke, and she's such a sweet girl. She's such a sweet girl, and as women for a women's university, it only makes sense for us to help her, you know, get that out there. But yeah, so plug for Bennett.
We're gonna do that. Yeah, plug it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so because you're Miss Southern, how do you plan on using your newfound leverage for yourself in the future?
So I guess that ties back into what I want to do after school. So I've gained the following, right? Right. So the key is not to mess it up. So you're Miss Southern for the rest of your life. Yeah. I will forever be Miss Senior 2017, 2018. I will forever be Miss Southern 2018, 2019. And I will forever be the 88th Miss Southern. Yeah. Like, it's in history. It's in history. Yeah. So my job is to make sure the image never goes wrong. Right. So, and to still be myself, but understand, like, all of it. So, basically, to just be, again, follow my purpose. Be beacon of hope. Make sure I'm always reaching back to the youth. Make sure I'm always giving back to a community service, all of that. So, all of the duties and responsibilities of Miss Southern, I will still continue to take with me after I'm no longer, you know, the current Miss Southern. Yeah. So that's basically my whole thing, is to just make sure I take those and still invest it into other people. Yeah. Make sure that they do the same thing. So I think they make the world better. You should write a book. I've gotten that a few times. It'd be a long book.
You see what Michelle
Yeah, you're true.
You see what she did? Well, not too long after she finished Being First Lady book.
True.
Within a week.
True.
Almost $1 million sold.
That's true. I'm I think that's might be where I'm going. I'm going down the blog road. It might be a book next.
Yeah, hey, yeah. Just take everything you put into a blog and just
put it on
book.
Pages, right?
Put on the book. Put it on the shelf for $30.
Right. And make coins.
Hey, that's what it's about. Just promote it. You know, come back on the podcast and promote the book.
Right.
You know.
Come on, shameless plug. I love it.
You know, we got to, man. Okay, so when does school start?
School starts January 16th.
Okay. Well, that's next week. Okay. What do y'all have planned? You and the student body have planned for the spring semester?
And President Kenny. So,
I need to get President to come back on.
You do.
Yeah, maybe.
You do. Oh, he would love that. Oh my gosh, he would love that. But no, we have.
Maybe you can put in the ear. Put in his ear.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Spring Fest coming up. Okay. I have a couple of events. So every Miss Southern has a platform that we campaign for. So there's a few things that I promote. So like as an entrepreneur, I did a lot of entrepreneur events. Okay. So I would basically allow for the students to have a table just like this, go into the union. Of course, everything's free, but market yourself, brand yourself. So if you're a photographer, if you're a makeup artist, you sell hair, you're a videographer, any business that you have, I'm giving you the opportunity to sell it to your student body. So, and I had one girl that did natural products, skincare and all that stuff. She easily made, I think she told me like 300 at one of my events. Like,
oh wow,
yeah, like that was my whole goal. Like like I said, I open the door for the same way people open the door for me, open the door for somebody else. So it's really helped a lot of students. So that was my fall semester goal, and then raise money for St. Jude. So my little Miss Southern, she raised almost like $2,000 for St. Jude. So that fell under part of my platform and part of her platform. She's only like, she's so little, she's so cute, but she did a great job, and she watches me like a hawk. So everything I do, she tries to mimic. Right. So but no, she did a great job with that. We actually presented that check over the break to St. Jude, Region 15 in Baton Rouge.
How much did y'all raise?
It's probably about 2,100.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Okay, that's pretty good.
What is it?
For a second, I thought you were about to say 21 million. I was like, what?
I might be thinking about another one. It's on my Instagram, but it's 1,000 something, either 1,000 or 2,000. But yeah, we raised that. That was cool. So the other part of my platform was raise money for Alzheimer's Association, because my grandmother, she was an amazing woman. Like, she reminds me of Audrey Hepburn, but like black. Right. So she was a boss. She really was. She worked for risk management for the city of San Francisco. Okay. So she really like killed it. But as she got older, she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia. So basically my goal is to I want to give that back to her, you know, because she ultimately raised us to be young women and everything. So I just want to give that back to her and raise that money for that. And so that's this year's goal. So last year was St. Jude's, this year's Alzheimer's. And then lastly, through my social media stuff, I noticed that our school doesn't have a tour of the campus kind of content on YouTube, so have that available. So when I was looking into colleges, I was able to see all of Howard's campus on YouTube. Yeah. So just two guys, they decided they wanted to do it, get on YouTube. It came in a series, episodes. Yeah, here's this part of campus, this is this, here's campus life.
You can do it on your phone.
Right. Yeah. Right. So I just want to get that for the freshmen coming in.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
To get them acclimated. You know? Yeah. And of course they have Jack 365 where they come during the summer to kind of get a whole scope of everything and decide.
But this whole new generation, they're growing up on YouTube.
And those people that are all the way in California and can't fly out to the Southern, you know? So give them that, and then just a couple of fun events, because I've been real serious. I've been focused on the whole entrepreneurial side of everything, you know, the business part of you know, my platform. So now I'm just focusing on a couple of other fun events. So I'm a content creator, so I'm allowing those opportunities for other people, content, because that's what we do now. Right. We're social media people. So those kind of events, fun events, crawfish boils, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. And then of course we got Spring Fest, the concert, and all the rest of the stuff that we have during Spring Fest week, and we have Welcome Back week coming up when school starts, and yeah. Okay. And then it'll be elections and campaign. So the spring semester always goes by fast, because we have spring break, we have Martin Luther King Day, President's Day, all
Mardi
those
Gras.
holidays, Mardi Gras. We've got, and then you got to fit all that in with finals and all that stuff. So it goes by really, really fast. So I'm going to be not Miss Southern in like tomorrow. So just trying to fit in everything else on my platform. Because that's the ultimate goal as a student leader is to fulfill all the promises that you campaigned when you were trying to get votes.
You know what I wish, maybe you can help it or maybe I'll be the one to start it. Y'all incorporated like the law center a little bit more. Because
what all kind of like, what would you like?
I just want to be included. You know, like to know like when y'all promoting something or in like, you know, extend the offer for us to just even come out and to like you know, we know y'all do like for homecoming. We know the homecoming concert is there. Right. So we can go. Right. You know. But for like a lot of things like for Springfest, I don't think no one in my building even heard of Springfest.
Really?
This is my first time hearing it from you. You know, and I've been there for it's my 3rd year there. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, spring is full of, so there's a foam party in the mini dome. There's and then you have all the Greek weeks. So everybody not all the Greek weeks, but most of the Greek weeks fall in the spring. Yeah, because we also
have a big Greek following in the Law Center. You know, and I was like, oh, why doesn't?
Well, I'll talk to the president about incorporating. Maybe we can collab on some things.
Things. You know, SBA will probably be down to do some things, especially with mentorship, because there's probably students out there who want to go to law school but don't even know where to start or how or do anything. Well, you got a whole school on campus.
Maybe we need like a meet and greet kind of thing to bridge the gap, and then we can start from there. Yeah, that's doable. Yeah, absolutely. We can do that.
Good, you know.
We can do that.
Photo crits or something. You know.
We can do that. That's doable. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's dope. Because I would, like I said, I would love to just like be more involved. You know. So now, mind you, because we're in law school, we won't be able to do everything.
Right.
You know, but the fact that fact that it's there, or the fact that Miss Southern, she came in there and she extended the offer for us to be a part of something. Well, that just speaks volumes right there. You know?
That's doable. Yeah, we can arrange that. Okay. I never thought about that.
Yeah, because like we are really secluded. Like no one bothers us.
No, because you guys are law students.
We still have lives.
True.
Well, some of us do. Some of them don't.
We just never think about that. We think at that point, you guys are like planning adulting for real.
I mean, we're adulting for real, but I mean, we're like like crawfish boil.
Yeah, you guys would like.
We would love to to come out and if you want to do like a mentor thing or like you want somebody to come speak to, I don't know, some freshmen or a senior, like if they like an event where you want to set up to have people who are looking to be going to law school.
Right. Which they definitely need. I actually have a best friend that's looking into going to law school and doing all that. So definitely having a.
And I said she ever walked into the law center before. Most of them probably will tell you no. They never think, where's the law center at? Right. Right. Okay. Yeah, definitely need some more visual representation. Right. And we all go to the same school. We all go to the same school. We're all on the same campus.
Yeah. They've got to see it outside of career fair.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Noted. Yeah. I got it.
Cool. All right. So, tell me, how was it working with the student body president? Y'all went everywhere. Y'all went everywhere together.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. At first, I was like, "Oh Lord, Anthony Kinney." So he is a character.
I met him a few times. I met him a few times when we did like a yard thing, fun water balloon thing that the law center put on. About 10 people showed up. Right. But he showed up. He came by. Said what's up and went by this thing.
Oh, he's great. Anthony is like. If I could have another brother, that's Anthony. Okay. But like 10 times more annoying. But no, Anthony has helped me make it through my entire reign. Okay. Like he was just there all the time. He always had my back. I always have his. Yeah. But no, Anthony's great. Like he's a great leader. He's really student oriented. He definitely has a voice and a presence with the students that they're just drawn to. And he's a great public speaker. He can really move you. For a couple times, I'll be like, okay, Kenny, I don't know where that came from, but it's great.
You be preaching.
Right. But no, he's really awesome. And he's done a great job as president. A great job, more than I've seen in like the past couple of years. Yeah. So he's done an astounding job. And I know he's going to go on to do great. He's actually going to law school. So.
Oh, is he really? Okay.
Yeah, so I know he's going to be great.
Is he trying to become Southern, or you know?
I'm really not sure. But
maybe I'll ask him when he comes on here.
But he's definitely, yeah, you should definitely. He loves to talk. So
I love people like that. That's what it is for. People like to talk.
Yeah, he loves to talk. But no, he's great. He's an awesome student, an awesome leader, an awesome friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just great. There's not much more you can say. He's just great.
Right.
He's just great. Yeah.
I know, because I know both of y'all schedules are hectic and crazy. I remember when you first got elected. When you first got elected, I was trying to get you for so long. And
what is free time? At that point, what was free time?
Mm-hmm.
What was a boyfriend?
Right.
What was a talk on the phone with mom? Like, what was it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was non-existent. But I was able to manage, but I want you to understand.
Right.
It'll crumble. But I mean, I had a good team behind me, but there was
that's what it's all about. It's about the people who you have behind you.
No free time. Luckily, I was blessed with friends that understand. Of course, it get on their nerves that I'm never free, but they understood. They helped me get the position, so you know. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely demanding, especially in the summer. Oh
Is it
my
really?
gosh, yeah, because you got to go to every orientation session, because you got to speak for the student body that they're about to come and join. And then we were traveling, going to conferences, doing this, doing recruitment. Yeah. On top of
at least you got to go all over the country.
Oh yeah, our own personal schedules. I had panels to talk on, back to school panels. So schedule was there was never a moment that I was not and if I did, I would sleep.
Your planners. Probably busting at the same
time. Oh my goodness! I posted on Instagram one day and somebody was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yes, I'm serious." On top of just personal things like planning time to go home to your mom, getting your oil changed, stuff like that.
Speaking of which, I gotta do that my damn self. I've been riding on like 2%.
Oh, you gotta get that together. But yeah, it was definitely time consuming. But I mean, I signed up for it.
Okay, so like, what about like football games?
What about them?
I mean, you had the best seat in the house.
Well, yeah, we sit on the.
Because you had to go to every single game.
Yeah, we sit on the 50-yard line. Tickets are usually depending on how.
You're not going to tell me y'all have to pay for your own tickets.
No, it comes through the budget.
Oh, okay.
It comes through the budget. It comes through the budget. Even you have to go represent.
Okay, so even the home games?
No, we don't pay for home games.
Okay.
No, we don't pay for home games. But we go to the games. Of course, we make our lap around the track. Yeah. But games are business for us. So games are usually the only time that alumni get to see us. The only time the community gets to see us. So that's really like we're there to have fun, but it's a job.
Yeah.
We have to go back. So after we make our lap around, we watch the bands. We have to go back upstairs. To the suites. We talk to, we go to the president's suite, depending on alumni. The Honorable Miss Ann Smith.
They probably just be like demanding y'all, like, man, make sure Miss Southern come by my suite.
Yes,
and come speak to me.
Absolutely. And you just never know. There's a lot of honorable people that come up to those suites. Especially for jobs.
Yeah.
So they may have seen.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like you have, your leverage is crazy.
Especially if they've seen you. So there's all kinds of attorneys, people that are tied into Southern, give money to Southern. So it's really important to make a good first impression on these people, so that way they continue to give.
Oh, okay. That's why you say it's business. It's more about them coming to meet you, so they can.
Absolutely, because if they see something that they don't like, or they say, I don't know, the court didn't look in unison, in sync today, what's going on, that can go straight to the president's office if it wanted to.
Right.
There's been plenty of times, like even come down to wardrobe. I remember going to one game. I picked out the dresses myself, and we went to an away game, and somebody called in and said, "Hey, Miss Southern didn't look like she was pleased with her outfit." I was shocked. I was like, "Well, I could have sworn I picked this one out." But it's everything. Image is everything. An alumni has a big say in how we move. And we're trying to get out of that. But ultimately, once I become alum, I'm gonna have I'm gonna be like, like what's going on with my school, because representation matters.
Yeah.
Especially in Baton Rouge, because we're against LSU, so everything LSU does is almost glorified. So we have to make sure we're 10 times to just even level up with LSU. So as soon as something bad happens, even remotely close to Southern, it's like, 5 miles from Southern University's campus, a shooting.
Right. Speaking of that, how did y'all like get on top of that?
It just comes down to public relations.
Okay.
Who's in charge of it, just to make sure, and wording. You have to make sure your wording is spot on. If you misquote or say the wrong thing, that falls all back on Southern.
Right.
There's always going to be a way to throw it back on us. So just trying to make sure we maintain composed, and as students we don't say anything off the rocker, or just make sure, remember that representation is at stake.
It almost seems like they should give you like a publicist.
Well, I mean, we just try to make sure
that because y'all in charge of it yourselves.
Yeah, we just try to make sure that everything that we send out gets reviewed by more than one person. Just to make sure that it says exactly what we need to say. We don't need it to be like, oh well, they meant. You have to say everything you mean in the right way. Because
you don't want to have a redaction or stuff like that, because then it makes you even look like a
It takes your takes your credibility away. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about your modeling career.
Oh!
If anybody will go on your Instagram, they can clearly see that Darb is like,
I wouldn't say it's a
model.
Career. It's a hobby. I enjoy it. It's a craft that I like to perfect. It's kind of like a find out what I like, what I don't like. You know? So like I don't want to be a full-fledged model. I don't want to be an Instagram model or anything. But I enjoy it.
You enjoy it, and
it helps with the...
You already have a big following.
Right.
In
it
social
helps with
media
the aesthetic. It helps with the aesthetic. I just kind of stumbled into it. It went from makeup to like, somebody else wants me to do my makeup so they can take a picture of me, and then it turned into this whole other thing.
You mean you'll pay me just to wear your workout clothes?
Right. So that turned into a thing, and I was like, oh wow, that's really an avenue. That I can take advantage of. Yeah. So
like the market of having social media influencers is just beginning.
Yeah.
When we're looking at social media, right? It seems that everybody's doing it. It's really just starting.
Yes.
It's really just. it may seem that everybody's doing it, but it really in its infant stages. Wait 10, 15 years from now when really everybody's doing it. And then you're doing it on the virtual reality world.
It's I was just explaining this to somebody the other day. I was just like, the days of like marketing is changing.
Yeah.
Marketing is changing, and
I bet you the money in your textbooks they even talk about it. Huh?
They do actually.
Oh, so they're talking about it.
Yeah, our books are actually starting to change. So,
when I was in school, they didn't.
Yeah, learning how to manage a profile, manage a Facebook. Facebook is like the ultimate marketing tool now. So and it's depending on the demographic you're looking for, it'll change to Instagram, because millennials are on Instagram, and then the
Instagram, Twitter,
the people before us are on Facebook, and then Twitter is just like a whole another ball game. But there's a way to market everything
then you got YouTube,
on every profile, and then they all link together and marry. So it's
I'm actually reading a book about social media marketing, because to further my brand and self.
Be well versed, right?
Oh yeah, got to be. All right, so. Let me ask you on this female perspective, since because I want to. It's a big question, and you probably have heard of it. You should have heard about it. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos' divorce.
I don't know.
You don't know about it? No, he's divorcing his wife, and well, first of all, Amazon.
Yeah. All
right, so the CEO of Amazon.
Okay.
Big guy, one of the richest men in the world. Right, he's divorcing his wife. And $137 billion is on the line.
Oh my God!
Right? My question to you is: do you think it's cheaper for him just to keep her? What do you think he should do? Billion.
I mean, he might really. I mean, when we're talking about Amazon, he might make that back.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and then some.
But she's entitled to half the stake of Amazon. So. What are you going to do with that stake?
Hey. Wow. That's a lot of money.
It is.
That's a lot of money.
I'll take 1% of it. Me personally.
1%. Like what?
1%. I'm good.
Like,
I'm good on that one.
Wow. I don't even really know. I mean, okay, to be honest, he could really make that back.
Yeah, he definitely could make it back and then some. But I think it's more so along the lines of the fact that what can she do with that stake? Because she's entitled to half the stake of Amazon. Like, is that going to drive the stock price down, or are you going to now? Because you're going to have what? Almost the same on equal shares that he does in the company.
So I'm just assuming she doesn't want to be partners in any.
I don't know. Like, I don't even know what happened. Like they haven't really been like much in depth in terms of like why is he divorcing her.
Just on a business side, I would be scared of just like allowing insider knowledge like that to just be let loose. I mean, I'm sure they've got contracts and all that, but as far as like internal knowledge and stuff goes, that would make me nervous.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they're getting divorced, it's happening. It's coming. I would just because
divorce is already expensive.
Depending on if that's her niche, if that's her thing, we might have an Amazon 2.0.
What's that gonna do for the stock? Like, imagine if you was invested into Amazon and now when you're thinking about like, okay, so she's gonna take half of the shares. So what's that gonna leave me? And I'm just an investor. Is that gonna cause the stock to go up or down? Am I gonna lose money? I'm finna make money off of this divorce. That's what a lot of the regular people who are just investing into it.
That just makes me want to cry because that's just like.
I just don't want Amazon. I just don't want this to be the blow that destroys Amazon.
I hope not. I hope not. I don't know the nature. Like I said, I don't know the nature of the divorce, but that it definitely plays a part. Because you just never know. I would hate for like a Brad and Angelina divorce to happening with Amazon, but I don't even know.
Yeah. Because since Amazon has come into the fold, Toys R Us has been put out of business due to heavily because of Amazon. Sears is no longer existing because of Amazon.
All the brick and mortar.
Yeah, but Best Buy is under fire. I used to when I was in undergrad. Before my last report was I had to analyze Best Buy from the top down, right? And I found that people were going just to Best Buy, just to price check. And then they will say, oh, so that TV is worth $2,000 in Best Buy. Oh, but it's worth $1,800 on Amazon. So I'm just going to buy it on Amazon.
Yeah.
And it's hurting Best Buy because of that.
Yeah.
And you can only price match for so long before you start taking a hit.
Right.
So.
Wow. I'm gonna have to.
We're going to see how this plays out. We're going to see how this plays out over the coming years.
I want to see how this. Wow. I want to see how this plays out. Definitely, that's huge.
Yeah, it's big. It's big.
Imagine your divorce changing the economy.
That's another thing. Amazon is so big. Like if that goes under.
Imagine the economy weighing on your divorce.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
I still gotta go.
You say but can you just get into the back of the house? I can build a house for you just in the back.
Maybe the marriage is divorcing, but that partnership won't. But like I said, we don't know the nature. Maybe them working together wasn't good.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's tough.
It is, man.
That's tough.
It is. Okay, so let's talk about the new year. Okay. What is it? It's today's 11th, 12th.
The 11th.
Today's 11th. Okay. Well, 1 or 2. We're in the first month. Okay. So, if I haven't told you, Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
What were some of your goals for the new year? And are you still on track for yourself?
Yes, I've actually accomplished. I've accomplished 3 of my goals.
Oh, that's awesome.
Already. So, one of them was to definitely start planning for blog. and for my comeback to social media.
And what do you mean comeback?
So like
you took a hiatus or something?
Miss Southern kind of took over my social media.
Oh, okay.
So you're reel it back in. So I was just talking about this. Yeah, I was just talking about this with a photographer yesterday, and I was just like, I have my audience are Southern supporters, HBCU supporters, you know, anybody that loves HBCU Queendom, royalty, all that. That's my audience right now. The audience I had before that included all of course, campus, you know, students, HBCU stuff like that, but it also included people that had other niches, so makeup artists, YouTubers, bloggers. So of course, I've gained another following, and then all the people that listen to Ricky Smily.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna have to change my audience. They're gonna have to kind of grow with me. So, I'm kind of trying to curtail it into this transition, trying to get them ready. So, my page will no longer be I can go here and all things Southern royalty HBCU will be here.
Right.
And then, of course, a little bit of Darb's life. So, it's now changing into...
Why didn't you have like a Miss Southern page?
I did, but the thing is, when you have the following I have, you make more of an impact in things. You know, if you want to run a social media campaign, running it on my page is more ideal than it was running it on the social. Yeah. So growing, I just didn't have the capacity to grow another page and still maintain the page I had. So, and I would get a lot more feedback on that page than I would on the other. So just working that like that. But now in hindsight, I wish I would have tried to grow it so I would have been able to, you know. So
you could like just switch off back and forth.
Yeah, but it's just I just went ahead and took the lick for the sake of the rain, just to make sure that everything ran smoothly. Because you know, we need the engagement, we need the feedback.
Right.
But yeah, just trying to make sure that I can transition into what I want to do next. So that's part of my goals, and then looking into adulting, like it's been coming slap me in the face. So like just coming.
But you know, like I said, but like you're 22, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know,
I know, but like
don't look at it as if, you know, like my life is almost over.
No.
Like I have to have everything figured out. I mean, no, like you at 22, you got people who would kill to be 22. You know, like you have a lot of time left.
I'm like I said before, I'm a worrywart. So like I'm so used to having a plan before my last plan ends. Yeah. So that way I can just like, next, here we go. Yeah. So this time I don't, and it's just kind of like my boyfriend is just like, it's fine. Yeah. And after undergrad, it's fine. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah. I mean, you have a big leg up.
Right. So he was it's just I don't know, for some reason in my mind I'm just like, I have this, you know, following. It's great, but I need content. Produce. If I don't produce, I just have an audience with no content. So that's the way I think about it. Yeah. But he's more so like, well, don't worry about it then. You know, you're gonna be okay. The content will come. You know, the production will come. All that. You're gonna be fine. But it's just, I don't know. Yeah. I'm just so used to, and I'm transitioning from college everyday schedule. I have this, and this to do. So now I'm going to no structure. Right. Where I have to create my own structure. So it's just, you know, a transition of responsibility.
Yeah, you know, maybe we can do business at some point in the future, because, like I said, you're big on social media. I'm trying to grow my brand on social media, but then I'm also about to go into my dad's firm, right, and really help him rebrand his law firm, his image on social media, because my dad is really old school.
That's exciting.
You know what I'm saying? So I want him to like have that face. Yeah. So it, you know, when I graduate and I pass the bar and I go in, I don't have to, on top of me handling cases, I gotta do this too and build this. It's already there. Like this whole year, I want to be like establish that foundation. So when I go in, smooth sailing at some point. You know. So maybe I might reach out to, you know, have you help out, or you know, what's your take on like how can I go from 0 to 10,000?
Yeah. Which I'm still trying to get down to a science. But that's what I do for the most part during, you know, my break days. So that's what I've been doing all semester. Well, all winter break. Has been research. I'm a big researcher. I take notes. I have a notepad. You know, I try to, you know, once I learn something new, I'll be like, okay, how can I incorporate this within the next couple of months? So I'm a researcher. I get on Pinterest and I research. I'll Google and get on research. I'll YouTube. Try to see how everybody else kind of does it, and then figure out which way is the most comfortable for me. So trying to figure out how to gain an audience, how to maintain an audience, how to change your style and still maintain your audience. And try to just appease everybody without losing yourself.
Right.
I think that's the discovery of the century, is everybody trying to figure out how can I be in social media and not lose sight of who I am, not change myself, my personality, how I move, you know, how I deal with relationships,
not paying attention to the negativity, because people are always going to be on
and just the culture that we have now with, you know, cyberbullying and all that stuff. So I think that I definitely want to make sure I have complete reign and hold of who I am, what my identity is, before I give myself to social media and let them, you know, because after that it's out of my hands. You know, and people are gonna like you, people are gonna hate you, some people are gonna be like, oh, you can't please everybody. Right. So the best way to go is to just be yourself. Right. So just try to make sure that my content reflects me to the T is what I'm trying to perfect.
Okay, so because you have so many mentors and you learn for so much from going through this process, what is some of the best advice that you've gotten, and what can be some advice that you can give to someone else?
That's a great question.
I know.
Let's see.
I'm getting better at this.
Let's see. Okay, I'll have to say some of the best advice came from when I first started out with photography. Okay. And it was trying to make people believe and accept your worth. Okay. So all the time I used to struggle, even when I was in high school selling paintings, it was always a struggle. Nobody can tell you what to charge for your work. Right. Nobody can, you know, put a price tag on your work ethic, on your product. Nobody. That's a decision you have to make. So your price tag is a reflection of what you think of yourself. So trying to find the best one without disrespecting yourself, but also understanding your market, where you're in. So that parallels into life, you know, and how you interact with people. So you have to understand yourself first and your worth and what you know, how people should interact with you, and you know what you can provide and what you can develop on your own. Because ultimately we're all brands, whether you promote it or not, you're a brand in yourself. So you have to make sure your price tag matches, because if not, you'll be forever trying to prove to people what you're worth and what your price is. So that's always kind of stuck with me. Know your worth. That's another quote. That's always kind of stuck with me. Like, don't let anybody give you a price tag. You make your own price tag and then you market yourself. So you just have to, and like I said, you have to watch who you're around. Because even though we love our friends, we have to be mindful of who we surround ourselves with, because that can easily taint. You know, you could love a car in one parking lot versus another on the other side of town. It's all about your surroundings. Yeah. So you just have to make sure that you're mindful all the time of who you're around. You know. Yeah. And then people will follow suit. Yeah. So like, I'm Miss Southern, so they automatically assume I must drive a nice car. I must come from a great family. I must have money for all the clothes that I wear. I must
expect you to be dripped in design.
Right. That is wrong.
Rocking Louis bags.
That is wrong. The other day I asked my mom for money for food, and that's all the money I've got.
Hey, let them know, man. Miss Southern still eat ramen.
I do.
Miss Southern still eat ramen.
I do. I still eat ramen. You know, I'm a thrifter. I love going thrift shopping.
What's your flavor?
Chicken. Chicken. That's it. My boyfriend had shrimp in the closet the other day, and I totally frowned up. I was like, who has shrimp? Like, it's chicken all day. It's chicken all day. What is this? But of course I ate it. I was hungry. But yeah. So they bougie. But yeah, and I drive a minivan. I drive a minivan. So my mom, she would all get us cash cars. So like we would all end up driving. My brothers drive BMWs. My dad drives a Mercedes. My mom drives a Mercedes. I was driving a Mercedes. I had a BMW before that when it wrecked. Transmission, because when you buy a cash car, there's all kinds of hidden surprises and gems in there for you, waiting for you to fix them. So I was in a BMW first. That was my first car. It was a hatchback. Loved the car. Transmission went out. The pipes melted on my way from Shreveport.
What were you doing to milk pipes?
It's just a lot. It's a lot. So then the next car I had was a Mercedes like truck, SUV, small SUV type thing.
Oh, I'm about to say the wagon?
No. It wasn't a wagon. But I love that car too. Transmission went out.
Okay, so that's two.
On my way
back. That's two transmissions.
I just have bad luck. It's just not my thing. So, but I'm in my mom's minivan, which ended up turning out being a great thing for me because I have so much stuff.
The transport and everything.
Yes, I have so much stuff, and with all the trades I have, photography, makeup, I always have to lug something around. So having the room in the minivan is awesome. I mean, you
still do your YouTube thing for makeup?
No, not for makeup.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna probably turn it into a lifestyle type thing.
Okay.
Because I mean, makeup's cool, but I mean, I'm here.
Yeah.
No makeup. So it's
so
just life has just kind of evolved for me. So makeup was originally a love for me, and now it's just kind of like a hobby. It's like, oh, it's fun, but I wouldn't want to be filming makeup videos every day for content to post. So turning into a lifestyle thing. I've just changed the way I think about things, so my page has to change with me. Yeah.
Okay. So when the camera is not on you, what does Darb like to do?
Oh, okay.
That's what you said. I didn't say Miss Sun. I said Darb.
I really like just spending time without any of technology.
So you turn the phone off?
If I absolutely can, turn it off. Don't check it. I love to not check it. I'll turn on Netflix. I will get on, well, I won't say turn off the technology, but don't check any emails. Don't check text messages. I'm really bad about this. My friends will vouch for it. I will not text you back.
Hey, if I show you how many unread messages I got in my phone,
I will not text you back. Like by the time December came.
Someone bar?
Oh no.
We're almost done.
Okay. By the time December came at the end of 2018, I had 456 unread messages.
I got like 1,000.
So bad.
Yes, I know. It's bad.
So bad. But that's for my mental. Like I will not text you back. If I don't have the strength for it.
If I ain't got the strength or I ain't got nothing to say.
No, or if I really can't handle that right now, I will not text you back. It's facts.
You read receipts on?
No, absolutely not.
So you don't let them know that.
You'll never know.
You'll never know.
But no, it's just for my mental. Like I have to unplug at some point.
Yeah,
you know? And Miss Southern is always.
Miss Southern been taking front seat in your life.
She's always available, right? So Darb, I'll even tell them like, look, after 12, please don't text my phone. Don't ask me any questions because I'm not gonna respond. So
I'm surprised you didn't get a second phone for this.
Oh God! See, that's too much. 2 phones,
one for Miss Southern activities. That's the number you gave out, and one for your personal.
No, like it was just too much. I had to I had to find a line to be like, nope, can't do it. So even sometimes when there are events going on, I need sleep. I haven't talked to my boyfriend. I haven't been with my boyfriend, in weeks. Like he misses me.
Right.
I remember at one point he was like, "Can I have my girlfriend back? Can I have my girlfriend back? Because this is a lot." So, but yeah, I like to drive. I enjoy being by myself. I like to drive. I like going, finding new places
long
to
walks
look
on
at.
the beach.
I wouldn't go that far. But no, I love thrift shopping. I love cooking when it's not a chore. I'm a clean freak, so I like cleaning up. And I'm an aesthetics person, so like cleaning up a room to make it smell good, make new sheets, clean bed, everything's put away, and just enjoying that vibe. Yes, yeah. I'm a wine drinker, so I love drinking wine. I like a glass of wine. I like candles. I'm a blanket person, so like a cozy environment. Put me in a cozy environment. I love sitting in coffee shops. Sitting in coffee shops, planning, thinking about stuff like that.
That's why I do most of my video editing, actually.
Yeah, sitting in coffee shops, I love that. And just kind of friends that I don't get to see often, I love to interact with them. Okay. So that's kind of my whole thing. And sleep.
And sleep, yeah. Gotta get that. All right, so before we wrap up, where can the new people find you on social media again? Drop your tag again.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Darb_Alexis. That's DARB_Alexis. ALEXIS.
All right. When we do it, I'm gonna have it flash across the screen.
Okay.
And everything. All right. So, last question before we wrap everything up. All right. How do you plan on using your voice to leave an impact on the world?
That's a heavy question to wrap up.
I know, it is. It is. I have all my questions like that.
Just kind of like following up with my purpose. Just using it for good. So I'm not a political person.
Okay.
I try not to get wrapped up in that, but the stuff that really matters most to me, I do feel like I am obligated to, speak up and have a voice for those who don't have a voice. Mm-hmm. So that's the same thing that Southern does. Is to speak for those who can't be, who are unspoken for. So just trying to find what matters to me most as far as, ethics go, as far as, the world goes, things that happen in the world. Trying to make sure I find what I truly have a passion for and want to stand up for, and using the platform I have to nurture it and to give it, shine light on it. So once as a woman I discover, as I discover it, I'll advocate from there. So just using it and making sure that I still maintain composure, grace, poise, all of that, because it's not about what you have to say, but it's more so about how you say it. So just making sure that still hold on to myself and my brand, but still speak for what matters. Because we can have a brand all day, but if we don't stand for anything, what is it for? What is it for? Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty much wraps up our interview. So I appreciate you. I love that you came. I'm so glad that I finally was able to get you on the show. Because now that the semester's going to pick up, your schedule. I'm not even going to be able to see you. So thank you for coming.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.
No problem. All right, so if you made it to the end of the video, thank you, because this was a long one.
But it's so many gems.
It was so many gems. Y'all gotta go follow my girl Dar.
Yes.
Subscribe to the channel, like, share, comment, all that. Oh, I want to see if I can get her back, because What Do Women Think is coming soon.
Yes.
And someone told me that she's in a relationship.
I am.
So I want to come back. If you want Dar, Miss Southern, to come back on the show, leave a comment in the description. Leave a comment on social media, all that. Engage with me, engage with her. And we're gonna make it happen. All right.
I'm coming back, baby.
Hey.